Welcome to the stream, everyone. Today we are doing Liverpool vs Norwich live commentary. It's the first game of the Premier League season. It's starting in 55 minutes. The timer here is the time it will start. So here are the lineups. For Liverpool, it's the exact same lineup as they played against Man City on Sunday. Mane is on the bench this time though. Adrian is on the bench as well. And I think apart from that, Milner's on the bench as well. So it's apart from those three on the bench, it's the exact same team as the one that played there. But for Norwich, it's their first game in the Prem for like 3 or 4 years. They have Tim Krul in goal, Aarons, Handley, Godfrey, Lewis, McLean, Tribal, Buendia, Stiepermann, Cantwell and Pukki. So an alright side. Not sure. Well, I don't know all of them players. We'll look forward to see how they do today. But on the bench you have Byron, Roberts, Vankic, Leitner, Hernandez, Dermich and Farman. So interesting that they aren't playing Farman in goal, but Tim Krul is he's played in the Premier League before. He's got a lot of experience, so it'll be interesting to see what happens today. My prediction is a 2-0 win to Liverpool. So well, welcome to the stream, Josh Taylor. Welcome to the stream, Jack Herman. I mean, I just answered your question without reading it, but 2-0 Liverpool. Comment your predictions in the chat. See if anyone can get it correct. Team news. You'll look at team news, then we'll go down to match facts, and then don't know what to do yet. Josh predicts 3 on Liverpool. Which is fair enough. I just don't think Norwich will be able to score at Anfield. But anyway, team news. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp wants his team to stay angry and greedy as they prepare for another Premier League title challenge. Klopp's side fell a point short of Man City last season and beat Tottenham to win the Champions League. They began this season at home to newly promoted Norwich. Can't be asked to read the quotes. Liverpool forward Mane is available to site starting pre-season late because of his involvement with Senegal at the AFCON. Midfielder James Milner, who missed Community Shield last weekend, has recovered from a muscle strain. Norwich will be out without injured central defenders Tim Close and Christopher Zimmerman, along with midfielders Alex Tessie and Lewis Thompson. Josip Dermich and Patrick Roberts are among the new signings who could play, both of them on the bench today. So we look at match facts. Liverpool are unbeaten in their past 12 meetings, 10 wins, 2 draws. Norwich's last win over the Reds was by 1-0 at Anfield in the Premier League in April 1994. The last 6 meetings have produced 34 goals with an average of almost 6 goals a game. Hopefully something like that happens. Hopefully it's like a 4-2 game to Norwich if that does happen. Liverpool previously hosted Norwich in the opening fixture of a top flight campaign in 1976, winning 1-0 and going on to take the title. Liverpool have ended the 2018-19 Premier League season with 9 consecutive victories and have only had 4 longer top flight winning streaks. They're unbeaten at Anfield against promoted sides in 25 games, 20 wins, 5 draws. With Jurgen Klopp winning all 10 while he has been in charge. Firmino is 2 goals away from becoming the first Brazilian to score 50 Premier League goals. He scored twice in his previous Premier League start against Norwich, which was that 5-4 game where there was 2 90th minute goals. That was a sick game. Mane has scored Liverpool's opening Premier League game in each of the past 3 seasons, as well as in 9 of Liverpool's last 10 fixtures at Anfield. And he's not even starting today, he's on the bench. He will most likely come on, but we'll have to wait and see. Norwich's only defeat in 21 league matches in 2019 came away to Preston in the Championship in February. The Canaries have been relegated in both of their 2 most recent Premier League campaigns, 2013-14 and 2015-16. They have conceded 45 Premier League goals against Liverpool, more than any other side. Norwich have just won of their past 16 opening league matches, 8 draws, 7 losses. That was in the Championship in 2016-17 when they beat Blackburn 4-1. So looking at the match facts and stuff, it looks like Liverpool are just going to easily win this, but you never know. But if we go on this, we go on here instead. This guy's made the exact same prediction as me, but obviously not in that order. Don't know if he's predicted in that order. If he has, I don't think Arsenal finishing 6th. But he thinks top scorer will be Kane. I also thought Kane would be top scorer this year. But we'll have to wait and see. This guy's got the exact same top 6 that I predicted. If you swap Brighton and Newcastle, that's exactly what I predicted. They're going to be playing the exact same team as they did on Sunday. Welcome to the stream, CCA News. We haven't got too much people in, but we're still like 45 minutes away from kickoff. And that is the Norwich side. If you look at that side, it just doesn't look good enough to be able to challenge Liverpool today. I think it's going to be a comfortable win. Don't think Liverpool scored like 4 or 5 goals. I think it'll just be a 2-0 win. We'll have to wait and see though. We've got 44 minutes till kick-off. going to be the first game with VAR in the Premier League as well, I believe. Right, there's a few new things in the Prem this season. Change of the wording of the handball law. Accidental handball is now an offence if it leads to a goal. If a player's arm or hand is above their shoulder. Okay, and just move for no reason. Or if it makes their body unnaturally bigger. That sounds quite stupid, to be honest. Drop balls will now be uncontested. Goal kicks can be taken in to a teammate in the box. Attacking teams cannot put players in the defensive free kick wall. And coaches can be booked. Scott Carson and Porosine. Yeah, I saw Scott Carson sign. That's giving me we need to look at all the transfers that happened after I finished that stream. Is there anything else? Can't be asked to read all of this, but there's anything else. So this person's predicted 2-0, I predicted 2-0. Right, so if we go on football now, we're gonna go on transfers, see what happened after I ended the stream. There was quite a lot. So if we go to 8th of August, so we ended the stream literally like once these two signed. So we left off with those two signings. Lo Celso joined Tottenham on loan. I thought it was going to be permanent, but it's on loan apparently. Drinkwater joined Burnley on loan. And then Prayet joined Leicester. Michael Verritt joined Sheffield United. Mohamed Besic joined Sheffield United on loan. David Luiz joined Arsenal. Shabani joined Wolves. Iwobi joined Everton, which came out of nowhere, to be honest. I just randomly got announced yesterday at some point, and then he ended up signing for them. And then this morning, Kevin Danso joined Southampton on loan, I believe. There's a few other transfers happened. Damel joined Hearts. Barker joined Rangers. Wilson joined Tranmere. John Taylor joined Doncaster. O'Keefe joined Shrewsbury on loan. Connor Kirby joined Macclesfield on loan. That guy joined Brentford from Sparta Rotterdam. And then Reece Charles Cook joined Macclesfield, and then Courtney Baker Richardson joined Accrington on loan. So a few transfers happened once I ended the stream. But it's only on more fixtures. There's Scottish Premiership game today. There's a few of these FA Cup qualifying rounds are also today. So maybe some of these teams could get into the first round. Never heard of any of these. I think the Ligue 1 also starts saying Monaco v Lyon. There's a few other leagues that have started. The Danish league, the Eredivisie, and Finnish league, Portuguese league as well. Dortmund playing today as well. So quite a lot of games today in Europe. Tomorrow we got all these games. Also got loads of FA Cup games today. Was AFC Liverpool. Okay then. They're probably just going to put loads of their academy players in there probably. So much. Bournemouth FC, aren't they? What does that mean? That's a Premier League team pretty much in qualifying rounds. City and Liverpool, what does this mean? There's literally loads of teams that are in the Premier League that have other team names. Jeez, there's so much games in this FA Cup thing. Welcome to the stream, Oliver Staff. We have got, how long have we got? We got 37 minutes till kickoff. That's actually perfect there, right? Just looking at all these sites, loads of my Premier League teams names like Sunderland. Like, what is this? They're just gonna put loads of their academy players or something in there. Just destroy the other teams. Reading City. Like. We have so much games that are happening tomorrow. The start of all the games are happening. There's so much of these FA Cup qualifying games, and like one or two of these are probably even gonna get into the first round, to be honest. But we're going to be doing 3 commentaries tomorrow. We're going to be doing Crystal Palace, Everton, Tottenham, Villa, and we don't know if we're going to be doing West Ham, Man City, or Leeds, Nottingham Forest. We haven't decided yet. But we'll have to wait and see which one we do. I honestly don't know which one I'm going to do. If we go on Bet365, going to have a look at not EFL Cup. I mean, we can see none of these have got commentary on, but we'll find one of them games for that. Leeds, Nottingham Forest has commentary. QPR Huddersfield does as well. Well, we're gonna do Leeds, Nottingham Forest, or West Ham, Man City. We haven't decided yet though. Got until tomorrow to choose. Now we've got half an hour to just wait, see if there's any like news. It just comes up. If I started this stream at 7:30, it would have been 4 minutes till kickoff by the time I've done all of this. Probably should have done this, but I'm going to look on Instagram for a bit, see if there's any news. I might just put some like music on in the background so nobody gets bored. Just because of copyright, we'll just do that.
The whole world at our feet, watching seasons change. Our roads were lined with adventure, mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand, open arms. This is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made. I still hear you in the breeze, see your shadows in the trees, holding on, memories never change. Legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. They become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll rot into smoke when the fire is fierce. No, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never
Alright, so we have 15 minutes to kick off now. I just wanted to like waste 15 minutes of time just doing something that I can just do whatever I want, watching YouTube or something. So I've just done that. And just gonna put the lineups on, I think, now. I need to click that for the lineups. Let me just go on the chat. GDN says, come on Norwich. Yep, hopefully they can win, but I think it'll be 2-0 Liverpool, unfortunately. Monkey1222 says, where's my mod? I'm doing a mod upgrade on Sunday. So that for that to enter you need to be subscribed, and you need to come in try and come in as much streams as possible, and I'll just be giving away a mod every week from now on. So these two lineups, Liverpool going for the exact same starting 11 as they did against Man City on Sunday. They managed to draw that game 1-1 but lose on penalties. Obviously there won't be a penalty shootout or extra time. In this game it will go to 90 minutes, so if they're drawing to Man City I can see them beating Norwich quite easily. So I predict 2-0. This is the bench. They got Mane on the bench this time. They've also got Adrian on the bench, a new signing. And they've got Milner on the bench. So 3 players that weren't in the squad for the Community Shield are making the bench today. Matip's on the bench. He scored that goal against Man City. I don't know who the goal scorers are going to be. I don't think Salah's going to score today. I think like Wijnaldum might make up for his penalty miss and score today. I think Firmino will also score, because Firmino scored 2 goals in the last meeting between these two sides. I think he'll do it again, and I think it'll be an easy 2-0 win today. I think they'll dominate the game. They'll have loads of shots, but they just won't score that much of them, but they'll still easily win. But for the Norwich squad, they've got Tim Krul in goal, Aaron's right back, Hanley and Godfrey centre back, Lewis left back, McLean and Tribal at the mid spots. Actually, I can get the thing on. Let me just look at the formation. I don't know what formation is. I just need to make sure, just in case I actually say the wrong position. So obviously it takes ages to load, but lineups. Yeah, Tribal and McLean at the CDM spots. Stiepermann is at cam. Cantwell, I believe, is left mid or left cam. I'm not too sure on that. If there's any Norwich fans, let me know. Buenda is on the right side, either cam or right mid, and then Pookie is up top. So an alright Norwich squad. They're obviously missing a couple decent defenders like Close, and they're also playing Farman on the bench today. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes into this Norwich squad throughout the season. Will he be a bench player? Will he play many games? We're not too sure yet, but he's on the bench for this one, which is very interesting. I would personally put Farman in the starting 11, but I know Tim Krul has lots of experience, so we'll have to wait and see. 10 minutes till kick off. Dermich as well on the bench. I'm not sure if there's two Dermiches. I'm just going to look him up. See who he used to play for, if it's the one I'm thinking of. If it is, then that's a decent player. Yeah, it is the one I'm thinking of. So that's actually a decent player. He's a striker, isn't he? Or a centre forward. But if he comes off the bench for someone like Pukki, that would be a decent option. Maybe they'll play two up front later on. I'm not too sure. I think Roberts will come off the bench and do alright as well, maybe. He's on loan from Man City or something. Welcome back to the stream, Josh Taylor. Welcome to the stream, Mancorn222. No, it says you'll be back, but he said hello, so if you are back, then welcome back, or welcome to the stream. We've got 8 minutes till kick-off. Comment your predictions. Who will win the league? Who will get relegated? Who will finish top 4? I did my Premier League predictions video earlier on today. If you haven't watched it, check it out after this stream or now. But it's 17 minutes long and it's 8 minutes till kick-off, so I'd wait until like half-time or so. Let's just look at Premier League fixtures. So next week, I'm just going to look at the fixtures. We're most likely going to do Tottenham Man City because that's the top 6 v top 6 game. Chelsea Leicester looks like it could be a good game as well. Now Arsenal Burnley game might be an alright game to stream as well, but I'm not too sure. Also Wolves Man U on a Monday. Do Wolves have a European game maybe that like following Thursday? If they do, that's kind of harsh on them to make them play on Monday, unless they have the game on the Thursday before. I think they might do. But welcome to the stream, William. We've got 7 minutes till kick off. There's a few decent games happening. Liverpool, Arsenal. So first 3 games of the season, there's a top 6 team facing another top 6 team. 4 weeks in a row actually, because on my birthday it's the North London derby. See if it's 5 weeks in a row, is it? I mean, can you count Leicester as a top 6 side? Or Wolves maybe? So we have top 6 the top 6 teams 4 weeks in a row for the first 4 games of the season. Then we have a 2-week break. Is there any championship or is there any games at all? Let's get rid of Premier League and just look at fixtures, see if there's any like there. I'm not sure it will let me show it. No, we can't see it at the moment, unfortunately. We'll have a look later on when it allows me to. 5 minutes till kick off. Put the timer on there. It just gets rid of it every time though, which is annoying. Move over to this side, and then I guess we just leave it on the lineups there until we got 2 minutes till kick-off. Then I don't know what to do after that. But we have quite a few people doing the stream. Apparently mine's the third most recommended after Anfield Agenda and Golazo TV, which is pretty impressive, I guess. So we might get a few people today. If you are new to the channel and you want to see more live commentaries, looks like we're going to do Liverpool Arsenal in 2 weeks' time. And we may do Norwich v that top 6 team they were playing in the third week of the season as well. So definitely going to do loads of Liverpool streams this year. We'll do a few Norwich streams as well, not as many as Liverpool, but we'll do as much Norwich games as we possibly can. It depends when they're playing compared to other teams, and what other games are on at the same time as that, and what commentaries are on at the time that I can find. Who's going to win in your opinion? I'm predicting 2-0 Liverpool. I think Wijnaldum will score the opening goal, and then Firmino will score in the second half, and then he'll come off, Mane will come on for him, and then Origi will go up top maybe. Because they're probably going to rest one of their front three that's starting. I think this timer's not perfectly correct. Let's find out. It's like 4 seconds delayed, but that won't matter because they're not going to start exactly at the time anyway. But we'll have to wait and see. Nobody fires. My door is really squeaky. Let me just turn my thing down a bit. See if that's good. It's actually a bit quiet, but if I move my chair in more, we'll see if that's alright. If not, I'll turn it up a tiny bit more. Yeah, that's alright actually. But we got 1 minute and 5 seconds till kick off. So I'm gonna put on commentary as soon as it hits 8 o'clock. And then if anyone has any questions or anything, I'll comment them in the reply to them by commenting in the chat. It's on Sky, but I don't have Sky, so I can't watch it on that. "10 seconds till the Premier League starts." I'm going to put on the commentary now. We'll get rid of the timer because we won't need that anymore because it's reached 0. I've forgotten how to use all this stuff. So if you do that, refresh the page, it says match. We'll do that. Once the match starts, it'll come up in there. If we go out that, we can see all the other games it's doing. So we're either going to do West Ham Man City tomorrow at 12:30. We may do a vote for that at half-time, so at half-time we'll do a vote which one we'll do. I don't really mind what one we'll do. I'm going to watch the Man City game either way. But at 3 o'clock we're going to do Crystal Palace v Everton. We have a choice of 4, but this one's going to be good because Everton have... I'm looking forward to watching Everton this season. Then Tottenham Aston Villa 5:30. Then tomorrow Leicester v Wolves, and then Man U v Chelsea. So the game is apparently live. I'm going to refresh the page and then put on the commentary. Where is it? Here it is. Right. Let me just zoom in here, and then I'll turn on the commentary. So here's the commentary on. Right, commentary should be on. I'll check it. If it's not, I'll try and fix that.
To start a match so far, Liverpool look pretty much full strength barring Mane. They are Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Gomez and Virgil van Dijk in the middle of defence, Robertson on the left hand side, Henderson, Fabinho and Van Alden as a midfield 3 with Salah, Firmino and Origi in that forward line. No real signings for Liverpool this summer. A couple of youngsters drafted in, and free agent Afia also signed, so I think we expect them to stick pretty much with this 11 as their strongest side. For Norwich, well, they have done business this summer, but Daniel Farke opting not to put any of them in the starting lineup today, maybe as a little bit of a respect and a nod to the players that did get them out of the Championship, and understandably so. So they go with Krul in goal, and it's Aarons, Hanley, Godfrey and Lewis across the back line. McLean and Tribal hold in midfield, Buendia, Stiepermann and Campbell further ahead, with Pukki leading the line. The likes of Drimic, Roberts, Amadou and Farman, all summer signings not in the starting 11. As I mentioned, we're just over 2 minutes in, and Norwich have the ball deep inside their own half in their traditional canary yellow and green strip. Liverpool in their very recognisable all red, with Anfield hoping for a good evening of football to get the Premier League season up and running in earnest. Ball down the right hand side now by Trent Alexander-Arnold, asking a lot of Salah, but as Godfrey comes across to try and deal with it, he actually catches the ball on his shoulder, and that's bounced away awkwardly behind for a corner kick. So the first set piece of the match goes the way of the home team, who got a formidable record at Anfield. It would be a huge surprise if they were to slip up tonight. Bit of a mismatch already here, because Jamal Lewis is the man that's marking Virgil van Dijk. You would have thought maybe a central defender, Grant Hanley up, and Godfrey would go for the big Dutchman. And well, the ball comes in. Wasn't a great delivery from Alexander-Arnold. That was something that was very noticeable in the Community Shield, that Alexander-Arnold's balls from that right hand side were often under or overhit, something that we weren't too used to seeing from him last season. Jordan Henderson now looking to send a ball in from deep, but Norwich will get it away again. Just starting to feel a little bit of momentum building now for the Reds. 3.5 minutes gone, and they'll be hoping that they can get off the mark as early as possible, just to settle any potential nerves there might be. Thinking back to last season, Liverpool couldn't really afford to drop points with Manchester City, the force that they are. In the end, Liverpool only lost one game to City. They drew a few, as ball's given away here by Alisson. Teemu Pukki has done really well to read that pass out. Breaks on towards the byline, cuts back away from Alexander-Arnold. Layoff, and the shot then from Stiepermann is over the crossbar. That has to go down as the first opportunity of this game, and a big one as well. Fantastic work by Pukki. Alisson had controlled the ball and just put his head down and tried to roll it out to the right hand side. He didn't glance again to see if any Norwich players had anticipated, and well, the striker Pukki had done just that. Latched onto it, had the presence of mind then to go and find a teammate. Already noticeable here that as Liverpool take this goal kick and look to play out from the back, it's played back into Alisson, but Norwich keeping very high presence there. They had around 4 players on the edge of the box, marking the defenders and making it difficult. Of course, the new rules in this season mean that the ball doesn't have to leave the box for a goal kick, but if that is the way that Liverpool want to play, which you'd imagine it will be with Alisson in goal, then they'll need to try and come up with something a little bit off the cuff to find a way through this very attack-minded Norwich side. Tim Krul has just made a bit of a mistake and has to clear away into touch for a throw-in. This control meant that he was under pressure as Firmino and Salah link up. It's taken off the toes of the Egyptian, and then Norwich looking nervy at the back. Ball eventually scrambled through to goalkeeper Tim Krul. The move doesn't really develop into anything. Potentially could have been very dangerous for the Canaries, championship winners of course last season. They haven't fared too well against Liverpool over the years, as they conceded 45 goals against the Reds in the Premier League. That's more than against any other side. So they'll be hoping to try and restrict Liverpool's scoring tonight. In fact, 34 goals have been scored between the two sides in the last 6 meetings, so it is often a fixture that offers plenty of excitement, thrills and spills. The surface they're playing on tonight looks immaculate at Anfield, as it should be for the first game of the season. Ball down the left-hand side now towards Pukki, goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in to Liverpool midway through their own half. Good number of Norwich fans that have turned out tonight to see their side in action. Previous 2 seasons they've had in the Premier League have ended disappointingly in relegation. Many fancying them to go down again this term, but if they can get something tonight, it would set them off on the right path. But I think many would really suggest that a loss tonight dooms them to the drop, as Divock Origi puts one in now, and it's turned into the back of their own net. It's Grant Hanley who slices beyond Tim Krul. Well, he hangs his head down towards the ground and covers his face. Can't quite believe that 7 minutes into Norwich's return to the Premier League, they've conceded an own goal. Divock Origi looking lively down the left-hand side. It was a drilled low ball in, and Hanley felt he had to deal with it. He definitely got something on it, but not in the fashion he would have hoped to have done so. It's Robertson who plays it down to Origi. He squares up against Max Aarons, twists and turns, and a left-footed cross. Hanley had Firmino lurking just in behind. He tries to clear it with the right foot. It slices off the top of the boot, and Tim Krul just can't react in time. So Liverpool have the breakthrough. Hanley with the own goal. Just over 7 minutes gone in the opening game of the Premier League season, and it's Liverpool 1, Norwich 0. Liverpool were expected to come at Norwich right from the outset of this one, hammer and tongue, but they've scored a goal, not in the fashion they would have expected. Norwich have put through the back of their own net. It's a move that starts down the left-hand side for Liverpool. Robertson playing it in towards Divock Origi. The Belgian, with a little bit of trickery, goes past Max Aarons and then puts it in low and hard. Grant Hanley tried to clear away right-footed, but he sliced it back towards his own goal, beyond goalkeeper Tim Krul, into the back of the net. So an own goal to get the scoring up and running this season. Hanley putting Liverpool in front. The Reds will look to try and build from this platform if possible, and Firmino now in the box, and again Norwich looking nervy inside their own box. We said that earlier on, that they didn't look entirely comfortable when the ball was bouncing around inside their own area, and that remains to be the case. Every time Liverpool get to those areas, they just look really shaky, maybe a little bit overawed by the occasion. They were the big boys last season on top, but they find themselves now as the small fish in the big ocean. And Daniel Farke will be hoping that they can find a little bit of a foothold in this match at some point. Here come Liverpool again, but the move in midfield just breaks down as Tribal gets a foot in. It's going to be an opportunity for Norwich to play themselves out of trouble. They work it down the left-hand side, and Jamal Lewis into the box. Pukki lays it off. Norwich with the effort. It's really poorly executed there by Stiepermann. His second chance of the game. His first one was teed up by Pukki as well, and that was put well wide. This time he gets underneath the ball and really doesn't make the most of it. It's a wonderful piece of skill from Pukki. Great awareness to know that Stiepermann was lurking just in behind. 5 goals and 2 assists he got in his last 12 Norwich appearances last season, so he's no stranger to hitting the back of the net. But well, Norwich have conceded, Tom, but they're looking good when they do manage to get on the front foot.
Yeah, what I like about them, Bobby, is so far is you look at the promoted teams or any team that play against the big boys, and they're always very sheepish. They sit back, they defend, and they're not doing that. They're trying to attack, they're trying to ask questions, and at the end of the day, you know, look at Brighton last year. Brighton went very negative under Chris Hughton, nearly lost their place in the Premier League as a result. And yes, they're going to have to sit back, they're going to have to put bodies because Liverpool are too quick, but they're at least fighting fire with fire. I tell you what I do like as well, I love that touch from Pukki. That was absolutely brilliant. It's a shame the guy behind him just got a little bit too excited, but he's not like him, as we say. He's not normally as weightless as that. As they take the free kick, they've won in midfield, Liverpool, quickly, and it's in from the box from Robertson. Salah took it quick, and it's now out on the far side for a throw-in. It's just great to be back, though, isn't it? It's the Premier League. The pre-summer seemed like it went a bit too short, but then once this sort of game kicks in and the excitement comes around, Bobby, you can't help but get falling back in love with it. And I want to see it 3-4. I'd love Norwich to score. It'd be exciting. You know, everyone you speak to has got Liverpool winning this, and 99% of people have got them to a clean sheet. What about a bit of drama?
Yeah, I think I can see Norwich scoring tonight. The way this game has opened up in the opening 10 minutes, there's definitely going to be chances there. And you're considering that Pukki, 29 goals last season, he's yet to get his eye in on the target. He's been unselfish so far, affording opportunities to others. I'm sure his time will come, though, as Robertson puts a teasing ball in now. Salah does get something on it, but slices it away. He was under a great deal of pressure at the far post, and Robertson doing what he did so well last season in those wide areas, getting up on the overlap beyond Van Alden this time. It's a wonderful ball there, lofted to the far post. You have to credit Jamal Lewis, the fullback, for staying with Mo Salah, who'd come in from that flank. And Norwich here taking that short goal kick, and this is going to cause so many problems this season for teams that want to play out from the back. Norwich have just about managed to break that first Liverpool press. Now they tried to get past the second, and as they've done so, they've actually fired it beyond everyone and down the field all the way to Alisson. They did give it away really cheaply before to open up that first chance for Norwich. Good news for Liverpool fans if they're looking for omens for this season. It's the last time they hosted Norwich on the opening day of a campaign. They did go on to win that game back in 1976. Well, they also went on to win the league title, so maybe this is going to be Liverpool's year. We'll have to wait and see. They went so close last time out. Had to settle for just the minor trophy of the Champions League in the end to soften the blow of failing in the Premier League once more, but no doubt, having got that European title, another one in the bag, they'll be coming out ready and recharged once again this season, raring to go to really take it to Manchester City, who of course will be watching on tonight, seeing what their rivals will do. So I'm sure most Premier League players will be glued to their television sets watching this first game of the season, seeing potential opponents and how teams are going to line up against them. Tim Krul putting one out to the right hand side now, goes over the head of Emi Buendia. We're yet to see much of him in the game. A really talented player that joined Norwich last term. Cause all sorts of problems as Pukki, as Alisson wants it to go across the face of his goal, and Pukki so far has read those movements so well, but Alisson did manage to find a route out, and it's actually a great ball into Origi, who now puts the cross in, headed away by Godfrey. Needs a bit of help and support from Lewis, but the ball will actually find touch, and Origi is playing really well down this left hand side.
Tell you what, it's a huge chance this from, isn't it? We know Mane is going to come in, and we know that front three is going to go back to normal, but how many important goals did he get last year? You know, the Champions League final, he got them into so many good situations, so no wonder, you know, they're looking at this game, and he's looking at this game and thinking, well, he was second or third choice behind Shaqiri, wasn't he, for the backups? Yeah. He wants to be making sure he's either in the first team or at least first choice. Yeah, the way things are going, I think any injuries, or as we see today, lack of fitness for Mane,
Origi seems to be the preferred man, got a new contract as well, didn't he, off the back of those exploits last season. This is a really good run now from Pukki. He's been played in well, tries to get the left-footed shot away, but it's a good recovery from Alexander-Arnold. Then Van Dijk gets the clearance away. I think a foul might have been given against Buendia there. Pukki seems to be walking out of the box. No, it's just gone down as a throw-in, but he'd taken up really good position there, had Pukki, in between fullback and defender, stayed onside just by the slimmest of margins, and at the first touch been a little bit better, he might have been able to squeeze that shot away, but as we said before, don't rule Norwich out from scoring tonight. Again, Pukki's played in on his left foot, shot across the face of goal. Angle was too tight. It's come out as far as Max Aarons on this right hand side. We'll go back into the box. Origi's back there helping out now. He's all action, is the Belgian, and Liverpool work it through the middle third out towards Van Alden. End to end stuff with just over 15 minutes gone. Van Alden finds Alexander-Arnold. Right-footed ball. Again, it's not a good one.
The pass to him wasn't the best either.
Comes out to Origi now and back in towards Robertson. He might go himself. It's just over the crossbar. Tim Krul not getting a touch.
I thought that was in, I must admit. I thought it was sailing the top corner. Really good effort from Robertson, and they're getting forward again, aren't they? Really high at the pitch. The fullback Robertson's actually on the edge of the box within a touch of Origi bringing it down, and he lets fly. I mean, Salah had actually peeled away there, Bobby. He was on the penalty spot for a pass, so frustrating, but yeah, fair play at Norwich. They're giving it a go.
Well, if this game is a benchmark for how the Premier League season is to go, then we're in for a cracker this term. Just over 15 minutes gone. Liverpool, of course, leading by a goal to nil. That own goal from Grant Hanley. Norwich, though, could have scored a couple themselves. Stiepermann has had two good chances. Pukki laying him in on both occasions. The second time round was a cute little back heel layoff on the edge of the box, but Stiepermann put over the bar. Pukki himself has been played in a couple of times. He's taken up really good positions in between defenders, but he's just not quite been able to squeeze his shot away on target. But Norwich definitely hold a threat when they get forward. They look shaky defensively, and that's the concern. Robertson has just had a chance for Liverpool, only just over the crossbar.
Yeah, Salah just wasted a big chance there for Liverpool. Ran down the right-hand stand after Pukki got the ball, as Bobby was giving us a experts update of what we've seen so far, and it was really good from Salah to get down the right, burst past his man at left back, which I think was Lewis, but then when he got into the box, he thought about a pass, thought about a shot, and as he's thinking all the time about it, in come Norwich's defence to sweep it up away from him and take it away. So disappointing for Salah on that point of view. I mean, it's only 17 minutes in this game, but I'd love to see the stats of what we've got towards that half time, in terms of the shots or the possession in the final thirds, because they're not taking their time in the middle out of these two teams. It's a case of get the ball down, play it, and it's making for great watching. Yeah,
I think both recognise that their greatest strength is in attack, so why mess about in those middle areas when you've got really potent attacking players. We're just in the stats there for the last 10 minutes, and 60% possession to Norwich, but that hasn't stopped Liverpool coming forward, and they're doing that just now with Robertson, played in by Henderson. Cross decent, but Norwich getting bodies back there. Firmino was unable to challenge. Fabinho will sweep things up just shy of the halfway line, fresh off the back of his exploits with Brazil at the Copa America, helping them to win the South American Continental Cup over the course of the summer, but that one ending before the Africa Cup of Nations, so he has had plenty of time to recover, and he starts today and Mane doesn't. Henderson back out on this left hand side now, lifted the Champions League trophy for Liverpool at the end of last season. He's a player that really come into his own over the last few years, more influential, and at times been criticised a little bit. He appears to have found his feet more. Virgil van Dijk, we know all about his abilities on the ball at present, plays it into Henderson just inside their own half, and they've just taken a bit of sting out of the game at the moment. That's an easy ball forward to Alexander-Arnold, though, cuts inside the challenge of Lewis, looking to find Salah, who gets a 1-2 with Firmino. Then the shot comes in and it finds a way through in the far side. Liverpool on 18.5 minutes are 2-0 up.
Brilliant again. To tell you what, though, they were scrappy at times in that move. But Trent Alexander-Arnold couldn't get it out of his feet. Neither could Salah. But when eventually Salah did towards Firmino, that was where the quality came, and he played it to the Egyptian, who's off the mark for the season. He gets the advantage of playing first in the race for the Golden Boot, and it's a neat finish from a tight angle.
Well, just over 18 minutes gone and Liverpool are 2-0 up now. One of their players has hit the back of the net, and it's Mo Salah who opens his Premier League account. No doubt that he'll be in the race for Golden Boot come the end of the season, and it's a neat little 1-2 with Roberto Firmino. The Egyptian, I don't think necessarily intended for that ball to go back to his Brazilian teammate, but it found a way through. Firmino returned the favour, and Salah, as he so often does, keeps his composure. It actually nicks off two players' boots on the way through. Only the slightest of touches. The ball was still set to nestle in the far corner as he finishes with aplomb, a fist pump of the air by Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool lead by 2-0.
Yeah, Henderson now picking up the pieces, and it's a loop down the line. It's not the best pass, looking for Firmino, and it's out for a throw-in on the far right touchline. Yeah, Mo Salah starting with a bang, 6 goals in his last 7 Premier League appearances. Just the norm, really. That's the standard we're used to with Mo Salah, that we just accept it as his normal run of form. But they've got a good number of fixtures as well, Liverpool, that are in their favour. They'll fancy themselves of going unbeaten in the first month and a half. As here comes Henderson to Salah, who's now going to try and go with another 1-2 to Firmino. It's not the best pass this time from Brazilian. The first one was good for a goal, the second's too short, and Norwich now looking a little bit under the weather, Bobby, at times.
You mentioned Liverpool's run. They actually play 6 games in August to the 5 of Manchester City. That's across all competitions, and down to the fact they have to go to Istanbul to play in the European Super Cup against Chelsea. So I do wonder if that travel is maybe going to have an impact as well as the season, as the month develops. But we'll wait and see as and when that comes about. At the moment, we focus on tonight's early game and the curtain raiser of the season, as Liverpool are doing as most expected and brushing the newly promoted side out of the way. Ball into the box now from Henderson, too close to Tim Krul, who himself will be under pressure. They signed Ralph Farman, a goalkeeper, this summer, and he'll be one that's trying to establish himself as the number one.
Yeah, there's a few clubs this year that have got a decent keeper battle. Burnley is another.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, they've got a little fight on their hands as well. So yeah, he's got to start quick, and I mean, obviously, I think Daniel Farke can give him tonight off in terms of his assessment if they get beat 4 or 5, unless he makes mistakes from now onwards. But yeah, I don't think he's ever been looking at this. He's obviously a very confident manager with how he's set his team up to try and attack, as they come again with Buendia now to try and play it through to Pukki. A chance to score. Pukki lifts the ball over Alisson. It's saved. Alisson goes again. Is that a penalty though, as the man goes down? Potential VAR, Bobby, in the first game of the season, is it? We'll see what happens with it. I'm not trying sure who Tribal in fact was one of the men in, but it was Cantwell that's gone down. Unless he's going to touch the ball, Michael Oliver seems pretty happy and the game seems to be going on, but it looked to be Cantwell. Is he offside originally though? That could be the issue of why we're not having to go back for a penalty.
Maybe it's tight, isn't it? He's leaning forward, Pukki.
Great save
again. Yeah, initially a good save by Alisson. Then the question is,
I don't think Cantwell appeals. I think he gets to the ball. Which, if he does, it's remarkable.
Yeah, really good recovery.
From what we saw with the replays, the replay panned straight to we didn't see the aftermath, did we? So it looked like it's just game on, carry on as normal. But how good is Alisson there? So good.
Yeah, fantastic addition to Liverpool's side last season. One of the reasons why they were able to close in on Manchester City so much. Mistakes of previous seasons from Simon Mignolet and Loris Karius had proved so costly. It was worth the outlay to bring in the Roma goalkeeper for his ability both on the deck and of course with his hands as well. Most crucially, did hear a hint from us of a call for VAR a moment ago, and that's something we're going to have to get used to for this season. The fact that the technology is available, and so it's used so often at the World Cup. It's been used in Europe, on the continent, in likes of France, Spain and Germany for a while. So Premier League late to the party, but better late than never, I suppose, as we look to try and iron out the silly mistakes that used to plague the game week after week. Not in use so far, with just over half of this first period gone, and with that point ticking over, Liverpool leading by 2-0. I'll hand this commentary over to Tom.
Yeah, cheers, Bobby, as Norwich go back to Tim Krul, who wafts his right arm aloft to tell his teammates to get down the right wing, and Aarons is the man that's pulled off the shoulder to retrieve possession. There is Hanley into midfield, and there is a little bit of competition and not a lot of space as Tribal has to go away for Godfrey. Out towards the left now And it's out towards Lewis on the left-hand side. Oh, brilliant step from Lewis. He sells Jordan Henderson easily as Cantwell goes out to the far side. It's a really long, raking pass. Aarons is going to keep it in play. Terrific speed from him. And Norwich are trying their best to attack here as Aarons slips over. Robertson nips in. It's going to fall to the edge of the box. It's flicked back. Here is Buendia, left-footed strike. It's a daisy cutter. Doesn't really get anything behind it. And Alisson can just bend down and pick it up with one hand as Trent Alexander-Arnold launches the ball long. But it's only going to go as far as Krul in goal.
What I'm really liking about Norwich is we've seen it on the edge of the box a few times, players with just little flicks leaving it for a teammate. And I think that's down to the fact that he's named an 11 tonight that played in the Championship last season. Partly, I think, down to respect because they won them promotion, so they deserve the right to play, at least in the opening game at Anfield, at a huge evening that they'd have been dreaming of all summer. But then also, they know each other's games inside out. They don't need that time to gel. So we're seeing these little flicks from Pukki and from Buendia and others, and there's always that player on the run next to them because they have that understanding, and that's why they're giving themselves a chance. I know they're 2-0 down, but they've had opportunities to score.
Certainly have, and it's been good to watch so far as Aarons goes inside to Buendia. A little sideways pass into Stuypen, left-footed strike, saved by Alisson to his left-hand side. Bullet effort. Pukki nips in, all in 2 shots in quick succession from Norwich. That one's so much better from Stuypen than his original effort in this game as Grant Hanley's had a mare. He's just tried to kick it out for a throw-in, kicked the head of the ball in his own face. He scored an own goal, then he's just kicked it against himself, and Grant Hanley with a comical moment there. But Stuypen, the only issue with the shot is it's straight at Alisson. Yeah,
he cuts across the ball a little bit, doesn't he, and it bends back into the middle. It's so sweetly struck, but he just needs to find a corner. It's a really perfect height for Alisson there. Jurgen Klopp is screaming on the touchline, beside himself about the chances that Liverpool are conceding here, and you'll feel there'll be other Premier League sides that'll be looking at Liverpool tonight and they'll be saying, yeah, okay, they're still great going forwards, but nearly promoted Norwich here, away from home at Anfield, are creating chances. Stiepermann is one in particular who's found himself in those little pockets just off the striker, and other managers will look at that as an area they can get at Liverpool from.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, I'm just enjoying watching them have a go. It's nervous watching them at the back. They don't fill me with confidence at times, but it gets boring watching teams that say, actually, we know you're going to beat us, but let's hold on as long as we can. What motivation levels can you get as a football player if that's the sort of trip you're going to make all the way up to Liverpool, to then just sit there and we're just going to go, well, actually, we're not going to try and attack it. This is the best team in the Championship. You know, why not have a go? And I just wish most football would be like that, and that's what I feel we might get from some of these promoted teams. Is Chris Wilder going to let his team just sit there all week and get a pounding from the big team? I'm not sure he will.
Yeah.
Graham Potter seems to have an attacking style. Maybe he'll play counter-attacking football. I'm quite excited for the first week to see how teams set up, as we'll just break off because Origi's come down the left and Robertson gets the ball from him. He wasn't happy with the crossing option, so he goes back to Origi, who tries to jinx past one. One of the Norwich players has been caught perhaps by a stray boot, and he's going to get to his feet slowly, Buendia. He's just going to be caught in the mouth, and I don't think he's going to say there's anything malicious in that, as Liverpool win a corner. Robertson swings in the cross, but it's deflected behind. And it's now back out on this far side, and here is Salah once more. Both arms aloft. Hoping he can find a way through. It's floated towards the back post. Van Dijk, and it's in. And Liverpool have a third, and Virgil van Dijk gets his first goal of the season. It's a peach of a cross, and it's a peach of a header. And the big man rewards all those players that have gone across to congratulate him with a bullet header.
Yeah, it's a first goal of the season for Virgil van Dijk, and Liverpool cruising towards all 3 points now. 3 goals in the bag, and it was never in doubt, was it? So Liverpool in a strong position now with just shy of half an hour gone. A set piece that has provided them with their third of the game. It's Mo Salah who delivers the corner, an outswinger with the left boot, and Virgil van Dijk on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's not the cleanest of heads. He's actually having his shirt dragged away by Jamal Lewis in the process as well, but he gets enough on it to turn it towards the target and beyond Tim Krul. It's his 6th goal in his last 19 Liverpool appearances, and it is Liverpool 3, Norwich 0.
Yeah, really good work, and effortless from Van Dijk again. That header. Alexander-Arnold launches the ball into the stands. And it's out on that far side. So Van Dijk, starting where he left us last year, the Colossus centre-back, that's such a difficult man to mark at set pieces. And Norwich already 3 goals down. And looking like there could be a little bit of bother. And then the far looks on. Harsh lesson, this, to join the Premier League.
It is, but as you said before, I like the way Norwich have approached the game. First match of the season, you're not going to lose anything really by going at it. Obviously you're not going to get the points, but in terms of confidence, going away to Anfield is probably one of the best places to go as a newly promoted side. You go there, have a swing at it. If you miss, then fine, you move on to the next one and hope you beat the sides in and around you as the season goes on. But it's a benchmark, isn't it? You learn how tough the Premier League is going to be. You're up against the best side, or one of the best sides in the division, and it's a real wake-up call for Norwich. They've made the step up. Now they understand who they're mixing it with.
They certainly do. As now they come down this far side, it's going to be played across towards Salah, who's going to try and find a way through, and he goes across, a little dummy from Henderson to Fabinho, across to Robertson. Robertson's going to fizz it into the feet of Wijnaldum, who flicks it out the boot to Origi. Origi low and hard looking for Firmino. It's hit a couple of players and finally comes out towards Trent Alexander-Arnold, who whips in the cross towards Firmino, chested down, a chance to volley. Oh, what a save from Tim Krul to his left hand side, and Firmino looks across to the bench, I think in disbelief that he's not scored. What a stop from Tim Krul. But it won't be remembered probably by the end of the game for the scoreline we could be getting here. Half an hour in and it's already 3-0. But that pass from Alexander-Arnold, the turn from Firmino, and that was brilliant.
They're playing some great football, aren't they, Liverpool? A little bit suspect at the back for me, but going forward, there's never any doubts about their ability. The fullbacks in particular like to get on and join, and you mentioned them there, involved in that move. And Tim Krul called into action, this time standing up to it and denying them probably what might have been a goal that could have really opened the floodgates. I know we're 3-0 up at half an hour, but should they get a fourth before half-time, this game could really turn a little bit embarrassing.
It really could. As you see the ball come down the right-hand side with Salah again. Here is Firmino. Origi back to Firmino again. It's going to fall to Wijnaldum, is it? No, it's just going to bounce past him. And it's now more Liverpool dominating with little response from Norwich. Did have a bit more end-to-end action for a couple of minutes. Liverpool lose possession on the edge of the box, and it goes all the way to Van Dijk. And we're going to restart. And out towards the left of Robertson once more, who cushions it towards Origi. Origi's going to take it in his stride and try and play a cross into the box. And in fact, he's going to turn inside to Wijnaldum. And he's going to take the ball past his man. He turns a little Cruyff turn, then it goes into Origi once again. And it's now back to Van Dijk. I wonder how many goals Van Dijk could get this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player that definitely mixes it up from corners and set pieces, isn't he? He's a commanding figure. It depends how he's marshalled. I mean, I made the point in the first set piece of the game that Jamal Lewis was the one who was picking him up, when you'd expect it would be Godfrey or Hanley, one of the two central defenders, that would be grabbing his collar. But they've put a fullback against him. I know he's not the smallest guy in the world, Lewis, but I think he's smaller than his two central defenders, so it's a bit of a surprise for me, and I'm not quite sure why Daniel Farke has given that instruction. You'd think they'd want someone that can maybe match Van Dijk for physicality, and Lewis just isn't going to do that.
No, he's not. Again, great touch from Firmino. I do wonder. I mean, Grant Hanley's not going to be in the team, is he? I think on a regular basis for Norwich. He's having a bit of a tough old time out there tonight, and the only players in the team that's played in the Premier League before for the Canaries. Fabinho, good work, really good work from him. Wins a free kick, too quick, fast feet. Gets smashed in the tackle by one of the Norwich men. He came in that quick, I couldn't actually spot his number who come flying in. And Fabinho goes out towards the far side. There is Van Dijk. Here is Robertson. In towards Origi. Back to Van Dijk once more. He's going to go across to that far right-hand side where it's Alexander-Arnold again, and Henderson picks it up towards Salah. Into Firmino. Back to Salah again, who rolls it underneath his feet, drags it to Henderson. Henderson goes first time with the cross. Krul has to punch it away. I'm not sure if he's going for goal. I don't know if you can tell from that speed. Krul's taking his team quickly to try and get out to the far side. They've taken the corner quick, Liverpool, but they've ended up coughing up possession as Aarons comes down the left. He needs to get rid of it, and he wins a throw-in on the far side. A little bit of a an ooh from Bobby, because I see this replay now. Typically, you see where get my words out. Henderson's eyes or his head is looking, because I presume he's going to go for a cross, but he might have.
Yeah, we're not getting a look at it, which is the disappointing thing. I thought it was a cross, just the way he'd shaped his body, but as you say, sometimes you get a better indication from where they're actually looking. In the end, if Krul has come off his line slightly, maybe Henderson is cute enough there to think he'll catch the Dutchman out. We'll just break up because Pukki has been played through here. He's in a wide area. Van Dijk has come out to meet him, but Pukki fancies his chances and has done well to win a corner there. He's made the step up to the Premier League here, Pukki, and he's not showing any respect to the man who was regarded as the best defender in the Premier League last season. Backed himself to beat him.
Looking pretty sharp as well up there in the touches he's shown, and the positioning. That's one thing I think I noticed in the Championship last year, how good his positioning was to get into areas. He might not be the quickest, he might not be the strongest, but he gets himself in areas as the ball comes in towards the edge of the box, a header towards goal, and it's headed past the post, this time in the middle of midfield. I think that was Tribal, perhaps, maybe? Number 19? Yeah, Tribal with the header towards goal, but he just couldn't direct it into the bottom corner.
Yeah, unfortunate in the end that he wasn't able to test Alisson or find the back of the net and get Norwich a route back into this game. We're approaching half time then, and Liverpool in a very strong position, 3-0 up with just the 10 minutes left to play. Norwich, though, will feel really down about themselves not getting on the score sheet at least once in this game. Stiepermann has had at least 3 chances. The best of them came just before Virgil van Dijk got Liverpool's third, a drilled effort that was saved by Alisson. Quite a comfortable height, but at least his effort was on target. Since then, Roberto Firmino has had a good attempt for Liverpool as well, forced Tim Krul into a save. Krul also had to be back on his heels to stop a cross come shot from Jordan Henderson, and there's concern now because Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson has gone down with an injury. He's currently receiving treatment. We'll keep you updated on how he is.
Well, this is a big old blow. Golden Boot winner. Golden Boot? He'd love that, wouldn't he? Golden Glove, Copa America winner, Premier League Golden Glove winner. You see it here. Well, let's tell you what, he goes to grab the back of the right calf. He turns round. It's the right calf he's gone to feel. I thought it was his left leg, but he's gone down. Well, Adrian signed for the club a couple of days ago, and he's in the team.
I don't think he thought he would be making his debut on the first game of the season before half-time. I mean, he's talking down the touchline. He's probably saying, has anyone got any gloves for me? He's not come prepared. He thought Alisson's going to play all season. I won't get a look in. Has anyone got boots, a shirt and gloves for me? He did not expect this, and he's going to get his chance to come out. I mean, look at his face. He did not expect to come on this pitch.
I'll tell you what, one of the new Liverpool player, the guy from Fulham, the young man, I forgot his name. He's peering over the top. I'm wondering if he looked towards the floor. I don't think he's looking if he's actually got some boots on. Now he looks like he's getting his gloves on. If I'm Norwich now, though, yes, the game looks like it's well and truly gone. But here's a man that's not played in the Premier League for a long while, not played for a club of this stature. They've got a stretcher for Alisson. Now, I don't know that it's going to be required, but if it's his calf and it's serious enough, you do not want to put in any weight on that whatsoever. But this is a consecutive Golden Glove winner, a Colossus keeper, best keeper in the league last year according to the stats, alongside Ederson.
Yeah. It's a huge blow, isn't it? It's going to be disastrous for Liverpool's season if he is out for any sort of period of time, and Liverpool might well come away from this game with a 4-5, 6-0 win, but they'll be counting the cost of missing Alisson more than anything else. He is walking off of his own steam, so it's maybe not as serious as they first thought, having brought that stretcher on for him. But I mean, yeah, they've had to bring Adrian in. He gets a hug off Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's got a smile on his face. He's not yet maybe allowed it to sink in that a number one stopper who is great both for saving goals and also starting moves at the back could be out for a few weeks here. You'd imagine it's probably not going to be anything more than a month or so at the most, but who knows? He's off the field, the change is made.
Well, there's a number of things. You can never expect anything in football, can you? That's the old cliche. Expect the unexpected. I did not think we'd lose the star keeper out there.
Adrian in front of the cop end already. What a night for him, eh?
Well, do you know what I say? This is why you need a good squad. This is why you need a backup, a keeper of decent quality. We all look at, we've been doing our dream teams this week. You look at the options. Everyone's got a number one in some capacity. We mentioned there's some clubs that have got close ties, but you've got some that's got outright number ones. If they're injured, just because it's a keeper and it's less frequent, they can still tarnish your season. You could miss a month with a calf injury if it's serious enough. You mentioned they play 6 games, is it, compared to City's 5? It's pretty big, I must admit. As Origi goes down, wins a free kick. I didn't see anything in that, I must admit. He seemed to throw himself onto the floor. But a bit of drama, Bobby.
Well, we're even closer at half-time now, just around about 5 minutes until the break, and Alisson, who I mentioned before had gone down injured, has now gone off. He's unable to continue. Looks as though he's got a calf injury, which, depending on how serious it is, could keep him out for quite a lengthy period of time in the grand scheme of things, considering there's a lot of football to be played in this opening month of the Premier League season. So Adrian, the man who was released by West Ham last season, joined Liverpool on a free not so long ago, has had to find some buffs from somewhere and get himself on the pitch. He's making a surprise debut much sooner than expected. Liverpool, of course, in a strong position in this game, but they could be counting the cost of an injury to one of their key players in Alisson.
They certainly could. And let's see if Norwich can take advantage inside the first 5 minutes. It already seems like we've been in here for about an hour. In terms of what we've seen goals, we've seen a bit of drama, we've seen some great saves, we've seen a substitute keeper come on, we've seen a potential, what we thought was a VAR appeal until we realised saw the replay, just because of how good the saves were from Alisson. And now here come Norwich with Buendia, flicks it in behind, looking for Pukki. Virgil van Dijk's position is scarily good as he keeps the ball under control. Firmino somehow keeps the ball in. Origi's seen so much of possession. Tribal comes in. Fabinho takes the ball off his toes, and here's Henderson driving forward. The furthest man in a red shirt was Jordan Henderson, a new attacking role for him this season. As they come down the right with Salah. Henderson once more as he drives the ball into another red shirt in Trent Alexander-Arnold towards Origi, headed home. What a goal from Liverpool! An inch-perfect pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Divock Origi gets a goal and an assist in the first Premier League game of the season.
Well, Liverpool have just been left a little bit frustrated by the departure of Alisson through injury, but the fans are back on their feet once again as they bag a fourth just before the half-time break. Divock Origi handed a chance to start today with Sadio Mane not deemed fit enough to be in the side from the beginning, and he makes a really well-timed run into the box here as Alexander-Arnold delivers from deep. Origi emerges between central defender and fullback and simply just heads home. No one close enough to put the pressure on. Krul can't get a hand to it, and Liverpool lead by 4-0.
It's a great header, that as well, isn't it? He really is, proving his worth in that position this year, and I wonder, Bobby, with the campaign to win more than one trophy maybe for Liverpool this year, the Premier League's the one they want, isn't it? Let's be honest, they've won the rest recently, but the Premier League's the one they want. I wonder if perhaps he'll be more inclined to rest his front three now, because he's got someone like Origi, whereas it was a case of they're the front three, and if they're not working, then I'll bring somebody else on. But now, will he be more inclined to try and get more out of his players and less burnout?
Possibly. I mean, when you've got a player in form, you've got to use them, haven't you? And at the moment, Origi is that man in form. He ended last season so strongly. He started this season in good form as well, as you say, assist and a goal today. It's another one almost here, comes off the head, this time of Stuyperman towards his own goal. I thought it might have been. There was a very nervous moment, but it's a good ball in, isn't it, from Salah? They're just asking so many questions of Norwich. Good runners into the box, crosses from deep. They're all over the place, the Canaries.
They are, unfortunately. Salah's going to cross again for another set piece, and he nods in appreciation to where his teammates are. I think Jonathan Henderson's one to watch this season. His new attacking role, seemingly something for the future. It wasn't just a one-off last year. He seems to be more inclined to charge forward as Salah flicks the ball into the far post, takes a deflection or two towards Trent Alexander-Arnold, who tries to bring it under control, but it hits him on the back of the head, that clearance. Stuyperman's gone back for the ball and he whips it down the line, out for a throw-in. Liverpool's fans will clap as the ball boys are on hand. They take it quicker, they try and churn yet another attack out as Henderson's going to turn and drive towards goal, the Liverpool skipper. Robertson again towards Wijnaldum. Enjoyed this, Bobby, so far?
Been a good start, hasn't it?
I'm not sure all the games tomorrow are going to be like this on our service.
Yeah, I said from the outset, I think we're set for a cracker tonight. They've got lots of goals in previous meetings between these two sides. Last 6 games have had 34 goals, so make that now 38 in 6.5 matches. We're on for what could be a very high-scoring night.
Here is Origi. Lays the ball off to Robertson, who fishes the cross. And it hits Aarons, and it's going to bobble clear. Don't forget, we'll get a couple of minutes of stoppage time due to that Alisson injury. Robertson puts the ball down because Salah's on corner duties from the left-hand side of attacking position, so it's an outswinger that Salah's on. Alexander Arnold's on the outswingers as well, so they're going for the opposite sort of route, cutting it away from goal rather than in. Whether that continues all season or not, we'll see. Salah goes in with another cross. It's headed away this time by Hanley. They get into the first ball this time as it comes to Gomez. There is Sarres to Robertson. There is Salah. Salah's going to charge into the box now. Can he pick out a pass? He loops the ball towards the far post. Can he? He's going to take a slight deflection. It's across towards the far side, but it is going to bubble clear. And the 45 minutes is up. Fark rubs his little beard and his nose, and he looks disgruntled, and he's frowning, and he's just fidgeting around because he's probably seething inside. But what can you do between? Apart from the Hanley goal, the rest have been, Hanley and Van Dijk, you'd like to think you can do something about. The last one is a great ball. It's just a case of it's a very rude awakening to the Premier League. Do you think he feel his side should have scored though? Was that? Do you think that what he might be thinking?
Yeah, I think
stoppage time.
I think that'll be his biggest frustration: the fact that they haven't hit the back of the net. They created a good 4 or 5 chances. At least 2 of them have been very good chances, and they haven't taken them. And I think sometimes it is good to get this early wake-up call, isn't it, from a side that are one of the best in the division. You say, well, we've maybe lost heavily today, but we're not going to come up against many as good as that. City probably the only other ones that you would maybe fear, conceding 4, 5, 6 against on their own patch.
Yeah, as Aarons intercepts the ball, that could be a free kick. I thought Robertson was pulled back. As here is Firmino, chance to strike. He turns on his left foot, deflected, and Krul can pick up the pieces. Aarons has caught the ball in a bit of a soft spot in between the groin area, and he's holding the fort at the minute. He tries to get his breath back, and it's going to hurt for Aarons. Tim Krul's going to roll the ball out. Can't really focus too much on the area that he's holding, but it's pretty hard. It's pretty easy to tell what we're on about with where he's been hit with that stinging effort from Firmino. Of course, they're not going to know the extent of the Alisson injury, are they, for a good couple of days, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. Comes on the same day that Man City lost a player, Leroy Sané, for 7 months to an ACL.
Yeah, that's it. You just never know, do you? We're assuming that it's a calf problem and that it might just be a short-term thing, but I think when Sané left the field in the Community Shield final, he came back on at the end, celebrated with his teammates, lifted the trophy, not knowing the full extent. Now he's been ruled out for 7 months, on further inspection you'd say, well, he probably should have been taken straight to hospital.
I think he walked off, didn't he, as well?
He walked off, yeah.
He wasn't on a stretcher.
Came back on and looked fine at the end to lift the Community Shield, and walked up all those Wembley stairs with an ACL injury, which probably wasn't the best idea on reflection. So I think there has to be a little bit more care and consideration taken when one of your key players has an injury. Of course, at the end of this game, Liverpool aren't going to have to go and lift a trophy, so Alisson can probably head off to be assessed properly now, and they'll learn the full extent of it in a few days.
Yeah, they certainly will. As we see Krul in possession, he's going to try and launch this ball long out towards the far right hand side, and it's headed in by Buendia. Firmino and Henderson getting each other's way. Henderson's come off badly as he hurt the arm or the shoulder, and he was coughing as well there, Henderson. And I think the referee decided that's the end of the first half. So it's Liverpool 4, Norwich 0, and we'll have second half commentary soon for you.
Well, at the end of the first half, Liverpool have a commanding 4-0 advantage over newly promoted Norwich. They were ahead on 7 minutes when Grant Hanley put through the back of his own net off Divock Origi's cross. On 19 minutes, Robertson just shot over the crossbar moments after Firmino found Salah, who slotted home left-footed. Virgil van Dijk made it 3-0 on 28 minutes and just shy of half-time. Origi headed home. Alisson has gone off with an injury for Liverpool. Norwich have created, just not been able.
Right, so it's half time. It is 4-0 to Liverpool at half time. If you are going to leave the stream now because it's half time, make sure to come back in 15 minutes for the start of the second half. And if you are new to the channel and you want to see more live commentaries for Liverpool and Norwich games in the future, hit the subscribe button. There's about 20 people in here at the moment, and I can guarantee half of you aren't subscribed, so if you could subscribe, that would be great. But 4-0 at half time already for Liverpool, and Norwich haven't even played that bad. So we'll go through the match stats. So as you can see, 56% possession for Liverpool, 44% for Norwich. 7 shots for Norwich, 6 for Liverpool, so they've already had more shots than Liverpool, but they're losing 4-0. All of Liverpool's shots on target have gone in. Norwich having 2 shots on target. Well, I guess actually 3 have gone in, 1 hasn't, because 1 was an own goal. Don't know if they've counted that or not. But Liverpool having 5 corners. Norwich having 1, and then the fouls doesn't really matter. But the goals were Hanley scores an own goal for 7 minutes in. Then Salah scored 19 minutes in. Van Dijk scored, and then Origi scored. I've got videos of all the 4 goals. I'm not going to show them because copyright, but the first goal, Origi went down to on the left side, crossed it in like a low driven cross, and it hit Hanley's leg and went into the bottom right corner. The second goal, Trent cut inside on the right side, gave it to Salah on the edge of the box, took a few deflections, found Firmino, who played a pass into Salah, and his left foot shot went into the bottom left corner. And then the first goal, corner, Salah took it, and it went straight to Van Dijk, and it went in the goal. And then the fourth goal, Trent running down the the right hand side, crossing it in into Origi, who headed it in. So 4 goals already, 2 of them being headers, I believe. Well, Trent has 1 assist, Salah has an assist, and Firmino has an assist. The player ratings at the moment. We'll start with Norwich. Tim Krul has a 5.5 rating, which is the worst of any other player on the pitch. Hanley has a 5.7. Godfrey has a 6.2. Lewis has a 6.4. Aarons has a 6.1. McLean has a 6.4. Tribal has a 6. Cantwell has a 6.3. Steeperman has a 6.4. Buendia has a 6.2, and Pukki has a 6.6. So at the moment, Pukki is Norwich's best player. But as for Liverpool, their worst player is at the moment Henderson with a 6.6. But Alisson has a 6.9, but he has come off injured, Alisson. So Adrian has replaced him, and at the moment he's got a 6.5. So technically Adrian's the worst player on the pitch, but he's only just come on, so it doesn't really count. But Gomez has a 6.9, Van Dijk has a 7.6, Robertson has a 6.9, Trent has a 7.1, Fabinho has a 6.8, Wijnaldum has a 6.7, Firmino has a 7.2, Origi has a 7.7, and Salah at the moment has an 8. So Salah is winning the man of the match race at the moment. So he's looking like he could get man of the match at the moment. But Alisson getting injured is a huge loss for Liverpool. They've got Arsenal in about 2 games' time as well, so that could be a huge loss for that game, with Pepe, Aubameyang and Lacazette in the front 3 for Arsenal this season, so that could be a huge loss for them. So we've got about 10 minutes now, I'd say, till the second half begins. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat. I'll answer every single one of them. Let's see, half the people left. Hopefully they join back. They should hopefully join back. What can we do for 10 minutes? Let's just... So we're gonna go on this latest news, see if there's anything. Feels like what injury is it? Feels like an injury with something in his leg. Not too sure. It says he's rolled his ankle while taking a goal kick. So now he's come off, Adrian has come on, and he's going to have to replace him. So we don't know how long that yet. Could be like a week, could be a couple months. We're not too sure. Guess we're going to have to find out in a couple days. Alright, so not sure what to do now. What we could do is oh yeah, what we're gonna do now is, if you're in the chat now, or if you're in the stream now, vote in the chat what game we should do. Should we do Leeds versus Nottingham Forest, or should we do Man City v West Ham? So I'm gonna put the question in the chat. I'm gonna put the question in the chat. Okay, one of them two games we're gonna be doing tomorrow. We'll also do Crystal Palace v Everton and Tottenham versus Aston Villa as well, but decide out of them two which game we should do. Whichever one has the most votes, I will do tomorrow lunchtime. Southampton v Burnley. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do Crystal Palace v Everton. I will do a Southampton game in the future as well, though. And a Burnley game, probably. Got no response to the question at the moment, so if anyone's in the stream, just answer the question. I don't really mind which one we do, so it's just up to people what people want to see more. Leeds v Nottingham Forest or West Ham versus Man City. We've got about 5 minutes till the second half begins. If you are new to the channel as well and you want to see more live commentaries, hit the subscribe button. That'll be ready for the second half, hopefully. We'll look at score updates for all the other games that are happening at the moment. Don't know what any of the scores are for any of these games because I don't even know. Probably because they're all non-league teams. But Dundee United won 2-1 against Partick Thistle. Glenavon are drawing 1-0 to Glentoran in the Irish Premiership. Ingolstadt are currently drawing 0-0 to Nuremberg. Dortmund are currently winning 1-0 against KFC Erdingen. Never heard of them. And Borussia Mönchengladbach are beating Sandhausen 1-0. In the Liga, Lyon are winning 2-0 against Monaco. In the Belgium League, Anderlecht are drawing 0-0 to Mechelen. Danish League, these two games have finished. Copenhagen winning 2-0 and Odense Bold Club winning 1-0. And Sparta Rotterdam winning 4-1. Helsinki, I don't know how to pronounce that. 1-3-2 against Kokkola. And it's 0-0 between Portimonense and Bella Enses. I don't know who they are, but those are all the scores at the moment. And then obviously Liverpool are winning 4-0 against Norwich. Second half's going to be starting in about 5 minutes. How much people got in here? We've got about six people in here, which is still alright. Hopefully loads of people come back for the second half there. But see if we can get more news on that Alisson injury. Maybe. Yeah, I can't find what's wrong with it. I think it's like an ankle injury potentially, which is what's wrong with Alisson at the moment. He has come off though, so won't affect Liverpool, it will just affect them because they don't have their first choice keeper for the second half, but they are winning 4-0 and I highly doubt Norwich is going to score 4 goals in the second half, but with Timo Pukki up top, you never know. He may bag 6 goals or something, he may get like 1 or 0. But around 3 minutes till the second half begins, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the thing here, and then once the second half begins I'll put on the commentary. Norwich shouldn't be 4-0 down. They've actually played really good. It should be like 1 or 2-0, not 4-0. Hopefully they can get a couple of goals in the second half though. Hi, I'm back. Welcome back to the stream, Daniel. We're still waiting for the second half to start. We've got about 1 minute till it begins though, I think. Should be been waiting like 20 minutes, I think. Don't know if it started. Let me just check on BBC. Yeah, it still says half time there. We're just gonna wait until it says second half has started on there, and then we'll put the commentary back on. Alright, second half started, I'll put the commentary back on. And thank you, Youngest TV, for the sub. 20 minutes ago.
Officials on the far side of the pitch, but having changed his battery pack, it appears to have all been sorted out now, and we are underway. But as I say, slightly delayed beginning to this second half. Norwich won't have minded too much because they conceded 4 in that opening 45 minutes, and the longer the ball was not in play and the game wasn't going, the less likely it is that they're going to concede again.
Yeah, and then you say that they play it out short, out the back, and nerves no doubt start ringing around their away travelling support. We've come in good numbers tonight, by the way, at Anfield. Yeah, it was they started quite well the first 20 or 25 minutes in terms of their ambition. They were determined to come forward, they were determined to attack, but eventually they made 2 mistakes at the back that they shouldn't have done. The set piece, the own goal, and then 2 decent goals from Liverpool. So I guess we kept saying it in the first half, it's a harsh lesson, it's a step up to the big boy league, and you are going to play teams that are a level above you. There's not many teams that are as attackingly powerful as Liverpool are, though. So learn your lessons, see if you can get a goal, see if you can tighten up and keep it to 4-0. In a way, that's a little moral victory for you in the second half.
Got a throw in here at the moment. Norwich inside their own half. Looked a foul throw from Lewis in truth, but play's gone on anyway. It's launched downfield to Pukki, who expected a challenge from Salah and from Alexander Arnold, and in the process has clipped that ball down the field. Didn't take a touch off the Liverpool man and has gone out into touch then deep in Norwich territory. Liverpool take that throw, work it back into their own half. Van Dijk helps it through towards Robertson. And Divock Origi, who had a good first half, just drops in. He's got white socks on over his red socks, Origi, and he's pulled them up so high. I think Van Dijk's
a lot of them have, to be honest.
Quite a few of them have, haven't they? And they've pulled them up so high that it actually looks like they're just wearing white socks. They're going to come down the left-hand side. It's Origi who's pulled them right up, though. Here we see the ball into the box, and a shot from Henderson tipped onto the bar by Tim Krul. It's going to come out towards the right-hand side with Mo Salah. Alexander Arnold with a great run and a lovely back heel. He's now at the byline, cut across the face of goal. Firmino spins, turns and puts it wide. Origi was there waiting in a better position, but the Brazilian wanted to get his name on the score sheet.
Oh, he's got to let him have it. I mean, let's forget that chance for a second. Let's go back to the original. So Origi down the left, he's caused carnage tonight. Little simple cutback, what a dummy from Firmino, and it's onto the bar from Henderson. I think Krul, did he get a fingertip to it here, Bobby? Henderson opens up his body, Krul comes across, and he palms it onto the crossbar and away from danger. But then Salah picks up the pieces. Alexander Arnold drives in, and as he cuts it across, Firmino's got every right to try and go for it if he's on his own. But Origi with a simple tap in, and he scooped it wide. And it's that battle to stay in the front 3. Origi's doing all he can, Firmino's doing all he can. Great work from Alexander Arnold, though, to get down the right and work hard again. And I guess the second half's going to be more like the first, and we're going to be potentially seeing 7, 8 if they're going to continue to play like this at the back sometimes. And the downside for me from Norwich's point of view is they've lost that little bit of momentum they had going forward.
Firmino is just 2 goals away from hitting the 50 mark in Premier League goals for Liverpool. No Brazilian has ever managed that in the Premier League, so he's got the chance to make history at some point this season. You'd imagine it won't be too long until he reaches that mark. Did actually score 2 in the last time he faced Norwich, so every chance that he could repeat that feat tonight as Liverpool come again. Salah blindly played it to Firmino, looking to disguise the pass, but defenders were in the way, and then Henderson gives away the free kick. He looks pumped up, doesn't he, the ex-Sunderland man?
Yeah, I mean, he leads by example, doesn't he? Probably won't find a physically fitter player in that team in terms of his willingness to run up and down the pitch. He's determined. He's changed his game. I think the comments last year was he's got the best out of himself. Every ounce of ability he has, he's got out of himself. Might not be a world beater, but he, of course, has what a career he's had. Wins a Champions League, wins a couple of trophies on the way. Played for England. Might just be the start of him. Of course, he captains Liverpool. So yeah, he looks very fired up. Perhaps because he missed that chance. That's the one aspect of his game I think is missing. Goals. Yeah. I think if he got 10 goals a season, a lot of the critics will start to fade away.
He might well start doing that this season. He's had a chance or 2 tonight. One saved by Tim Krul, the best of them for Jordan Henderson. As Norwich have a free kick here, it's around about 35 yards or so from goal. It's wide left on an angle. Emi Buendia is the man over the top of it. He's going to look to try and tee this one up for Godfrey. Hanley, amongst others, to go and try and attack it. Stuyperman is in there as well. It's a good ball towards the far post, but stretching, it's put over the bar. Not sure if the flag would have gone up anyway. It was actually kept in play, but the flag has gone up, so that brings an end to the move.
Again, though, they should be doing a lot better than that, shouldn't they? It's not the worst delivery to try and get on the end of Buendia's set piece. They're all onside. They get into some good areas, and he's slightly stretching over, but was it offside, do you think, on that first side?
Yeah, they gave a free kick. The flag went up.
Well, I thought they were. I
thought he was on.
I thought they were all onside, but I think they'll be kicking themselves in the video footage after this game at times today. But again, they're probably that panicky that they're going to need to score and stop the attack that they're rushing.
Here, another offside, I think, as it's blazed over the bar in the end by Campwell. You feel, though, that Daniel Farke will come away from this, and he'll take positives. I'm sure his comments after the match will reflect that. He'll say, look, we've gone to Anfield, and OK, we might have lost 4-0, however many goals they're going to concede here, but on the grand scheme of things, we've actually created 4 or 5 good chances ourselves against a team that were pretty tight at the back last season. They've got Gomez in the heart of defence, which you imagine should make them stronger. I think that's always going to be Klopp's preferred options at centre-back, Gomez and Van Dijk. They're full strength really tonight, barring Mane. And he'll take confidence from that, and his players should as well, that OK, they're not putting it in the back of the net, but it's what you say about strikers all the time, isn't it? As long as you're getting into the positions and getting the chances, then you believe that eventually the goals will follow. They might follow here for Liverpool as well, because Alexander-Arnold is forward, his cross deflected into the side netting.
Yeah, good run. Perhaps could have played it early doors, but he thought if he delays it, he gets a better angle, which he'd probably agree with. He knows what he's doing down there, the youngster. And he goes across to take the set piece.
Yeah, it's going to be an outswinger once again. Van Dijk, the main suspect. We'll see if he's been handed over to someone else or if it's still the responsibility of Lewis. Well, at present it didn't look like anyone was marking him. Ball is poor anyway from Alexander-Arnold, cleared at the near post by Stuyperman, and Henderson will go and retrieve that, bring across the width of the field towards Gomez, who in turn brings Scott Robertson, Andy Robertson into it on the left-hand side. Alexander-Arnold again into Henderson, who drills it back to Robertson once more. And the former Hull City player switches it out wide to the left-hand side with Firmino, who has taken up a position on the flank at the moment. He has got Origi further wide as he drifts in field. Elects to come across to the right though with Alexander-Arnold. Puts inside the first challenge of Campwell. Finds Fabinho. He doesn't fancy having a go at goal, so gets Robertson involved. And plenty of passing here from Liverpool, but they need to make it turn into something meaningful, which eventually doesn't happen. It's given away, and Norwich now find themselves in a bit of a pickle, and they've given it away deep in their own half. Salah with the curling effort just wide of the far post.
Yeah, Campbell's too slow. He has to step up to the Premier League pace. He's got to learn his lessons quickly in this game. He gets caught on the ball, and Salah should be hitting the target, really, a man of his ability. He's frustrated at himself. He makes a really good effort curling towards the far corner, putting the man into the position to the box like that. He probably feels he should have done a bit better.
Early stages of the second half, we had a slight delay to proceedings getting underway due to a bit of a fault in the technology for one of the officials, some static in his earpiece, but having sorted that out, the game is underway, and Liverpool have created some good chances. Henderson with a shot that was saved onto the crossbar, the ball coming out to the right hand side. Salah with a cute back heel to Alexander-Arnold on the overlap. He got to the byline, fizzed it across goal. Firmino at the far post got the ball just caught under his feet as he tried to swivel and get the shot away. It went wide. Maybe could have left it for Origi. He was actually facing goal and you feel was in a better position. Following on from that, Salah has also had a curling effort that whistled wide of the far post.
Yeah, shot comes in from Fabinho there from range, but Krull gets down low before Firmino could get to it. So the towering man in the red shirt going all the way from back in his own midfield position. One of the Liverpool fans behind the goal have not realised that Krull had spilled that. Sat back down, was punching his seat in frustration while Firmino went towards and nearly tapped in. So he'd have missed the goal if they'd have scored. As here in midfield is Tribal, and Norwich can come through the middle.
Yeah, Buendia taking up a central position at the moment, but they've been robbed of possession, and coming on forward is Wijnaldum into Origi, left hand side, tried to cut back onto his right foot. There's a foot in from a Norwich player. Origi's claiming that The final touch as he went over the byline did come off a defender. Michael Oliver disagrees, and it will just be a goal kick. And with that we see our first shots of Liverpool owner John Henry, who hasn't really backed Jurgen Klopp this summer. I don't know if there was any sort of a dispute about that, but they have just brought in a couple of youngsters in Sepp van den Berg and Harvey Elliott from Dutch football and Fulham respectively. Around about £2 million that has been spent, similar to the outlay of Norwich, who has spent just around about £4 million and their return to the Premier League. Daniel Farke saying despite getting almost £100 million in a windfall for promotion, that it wasn't all available to him, and they have had to be a little bit frugal in the way they've gone about their business. Liverpool have spent close to £300 million in the 2 seasons prior to this one, so understandable that they've had to just rein it in a little bit. Jurgen Klopp accepting of that he has got a good squad, and it is difficult to find players to come in that are really going to strengthen them at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting when he said earlier this summer that, you know, they'll spend to keep up with City because they have to, and then City have spent big, and then they haven't gone and done that. So, but as you say, a couple of youngsters here and there planning for the future, but sometimes it's good to, I guess, cut your cloth if you don't need to go all out and spend 30-40 million extra than you should do. Then keep yourself under regulations and wait. What if in January someone comes available that they desperately need, or they've lost a player to injury, and then they go 60-70 million in debt? Yeah, there's every chance to go and do that, to be honest. Yeah,
it could be the thinking from Jurgen Klopp that they'll just hold back for the time being, see where they are in January, and if reinforcements are needed, they have that advantage of being able to spend a little bit bigger then. Henderson with a free kick into the box here. It's headed away initially by Aarons, then a driven shot from the left-hand side by Robertson. Flashes wide of that far post.
It does, and it's a good effort, isn't it, from the Liverpool lacey. Puts his lacey straight through it. Good first touch. I thought it took a slight nick, to be honest. Van Dijk certainly appealed for it, but nothing given.
They've allowed that one to go, and of course VAR won't be used for situations like that. It's only for clear and obvious errors, not for set pieces. It's the big decisions in games that the referees will have the additional help. We're going to see the first sub of the game for Norwich here. Of course, Liverpool made one earlier with Alisson forced off with an injury, and Adrian coming on in his place. So it's going to be one German for another. Marco Stiepermann off, and Moritz Leitner comes on in his place.
Yeah, not seen too much of Leitner. Seen a bit more of Stiepermann last season than I did of the number 10, and he gives the few instructions out, and he's pretty clear what he wants to do. He's just telling Krul to get up, and Krul's telling his centre-backs, get out of the box, let's go, and let's go along with this and stop messing around.
Yeah, Leitner did play 29 times for Norwich last season, but only 19 of those coming as starting appearances, so a player that's half the season, a player that was involved and scored twice. Has previously played for Augsburg and Lazio and Borussia Dortmund, so a player that's well travelled and has been at some big name clubs in other divisions, and now gets his crack at the Premier League, and really a player Daniel Farke believes can affect the game in the closing stages. Just over half an hour left to play. It's unlikely that Norwich are going to mount a comeback in this match. We saw some dramatic ones in the Champions League at the end of last season, and it would be maybe even more of a surprise if Norwich were to do it at 4-0 down at Anfield in the opening game of the season. But if they can nick a goal, then those travelling fans will have something to cheer about, and it will further add positivity to what was a good performance, at least for the opening half an hour for Norwich. Conceding goals, yes, but attacking and competing at the same time. Henderson just brought down here by Leitner. His first action of the game is to give away a free kick.
I think it's a card, that, for me. It should be. Michael Oliver's going to give him one. He knows what he's doing. It's great skill from Henderson. It's ruined by the kick, and he boots him to the floor, and he says, I think he's trying to say he didn't do much wrong. He's just clearly kicked him to the floor. He knows what he's doing. Yeah,
I think he was saying that's my first one, but it doesn't matter if it's your first one. If it's cynical enough, then you're going to go in the book. Dangles out the leg and trips his man. Moritz Leitner off the bench. Just a minute later, he's now walking a tightrope, and what a story that would be if he was to be sent off on his Premier League debut. He's now sprinting up to Alexander-Arnold and potentially getting himself in a bit more trouble here. The referee's going to have a close eye on him now.
Yeah, I don't, what's wrong with him? Why is he so aggressive?
Here comes Alexander-Arnold. Wondering what Daniel Farke must have said in his ear as Van Dijk heads across goal. Won't find a Liverpool player, and Tim Krul comes to claim it. If it's an inspiring team talk that he got from the manager, he might have to rein that in.
Go on and cause havoc.
Yeah, potentially.
I don't think he meant by cards and dissent.
No,
Moritz.
By kicking them off the field.
He meant with the ball at your feet, sir. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
There we see Norwich with possession. It's moved forward by Tribal out to the right hand side. He's not got enough on it this time to find Campbell, who appears to have gone out even wider on that right hand side, just for the moment at least. Ball into touch for another Norwich throw, which fullback Max Aarons will come forward and take. Flicked away by Fabinho, back into touch, exactly the same spot where it was taken last time. Leitner goes and claims it. He's eager for this game to carry on. Whipped down the line again by Aarons, but straight into Van Alden. Cleared away, and that's a lovely chest control in midfield by Tribal, who turns back away from his man and sends it into Tim Krul. Of course, Liverpool shooting towards the Kop end in this second half, as they so often like to do on home soil. It's very rare you'll find them doing otherwise in the second half of games. Here down the left hand side, Norwich stopped in their tracks this time as Max Aarons is dispossessed by Trent Alexander-Arnold, two bright young fullbacks, one of course at a much higher level than the other, but was linked with some big clubs over the course of the summer. Jamal Lewis, Max Aarons likewise. Norwich understood to have two very competent fullbacks on their books, and they do go down this season and they perform to the levels they did last term, those two players, they might find themselves with a move. It's an effort here, saved by Adrian. This time he's been called into action off the bench, and is that man Leitner all action?
He started it all. He played the simple pass down the wing, he then got it back, he asked for another one and another one too, and he got a slight deflection I guess to get it into the first man, but it hit the crossbar.
Oh, yeah.
And Adrian didn't get near it, Bobby actually pinged the bar.
Yeah, yet to make a save. Adriana thought he'd been called into action, but here they come again. Pukki this time lays it out right hand side. Campbell back in field towards Aarons, who drops it off then into a more defensive area. Good work here from Norwich. They're moving the ball about quite neatly.
That's been a major difference in terms of how quickly they're playing the football. He's got half an hour to prove that he shouldn't have been on the bench. It should have been Stuyperman, and he already looks like he's a bit fitter in terms of his being able to cover ground quickly enough, and he's got the number 10 shirt that if you're going to be a fan watching the game as a neutral, you always look at the number 10 as the playmaker sort of role, so he obviously knows what he's doing.
Good ball here to Pukki, in on goal, and he gets one for Norwich. It's finished across the face into the bottom left corner, and Norwich have a route back into this match.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. A defence splitting pass, and they say he's the man that's going to keep them in the division with his finishing. He takes the touch. I do think Adrian's a little flat-footed, if I'm honest, but it's across his body. He has to try and tease him across goal. He does just that. I can't quite see, Bobby, who it is that plays the original pass. Is it Buendia, and it's a belter.
Well, Norwich have one back. They've had plenty of chances tonight, and you'd have to say they've been deserving of at least a goal, and what a way to take it. It's Teemu Pukki, the man who they're hanging their hopes on to try and keep them in this division this season. Scored 29 as the Championship's got top scorer last time out, and he's already off the mark in the Premier League. A really nice finish as well, but a beautiful ball to set him on his way. It was rolled through by Emi Buendia. Teemu Pukki, as he so often does, times his run perfectly to beat the offside trap, then through one-on-one, keeps his composure across the goal through the hands of Adrian, and scoring on his Premier League debut, 4-1.
Yeah, really good, really good. But you mentioned it about a second or two before that they looked like they got the bit between their teeth a bit, Bobby. And we're starting to maybe get a bit more joy with Leitner on the pitch. Henderson just being pulled up for a foul. There's two Norwich players on the 4. Cantwell's one of them. And a bit of a game on our hands in terms of a bit of a second half, maybe a 4-2, something like that. With if starting to kick forward, they'll be looking to do so. No reason for Liverpool to panic. They've got such a huge advantage, of course. But you see a replay, and do you know what? On the far side originally, Origi was trod on by Buendia, and he got booked for that, Emiliano Buendia, which we didn't see due to we saw the replays of the goal.
Yeah, he was a key player for them last season as well, Buendia. Spoken about a few that helped them to get out of the Championship, and he was one of those that got rave reviews at times for his performances and really has an eye for a pass. He joined Norwich from Spanish Segunda side Cultural Leonesa, and previously played for Getafe in La Liga. So he's a player that has spent the majority of his career in Spain, but he got 8 goals in 38 games for Norwich last season, started 35 of those, and he's one that you feel will be in the starting lineup more times than not in the Premier League as well. That's that relationship with Teemu Pukki, and it's all about having those bonds and partnerships to try and break opponents down. Here's a ball from Leitner over the top. Looks a little bit heavy. Pukki is going to be beaten to this by Van Dijk. In fact, no, he's not. He does manage to get a leg around the Dutch defender, but just can't quite keep it in play. Again, it was good work from Pukki. Decided against just going on that traditional route on the outside of Virgil van Dijk and nicked away around the inside and almost caught the defender by surprise, but running the channels so well tonight, and we see those Norwich fans now bouncing behind the goal that Norwich is shooting towards. You can understand why they've come to Anfield. They've got a goal. They're off the mark for the season.
Yeah, they are. It's a great moment for their fans. You see the travelling fans to actually see that goal in front of them. It must be pretty pleased with themselves, and yeah, it's overall a second half, pretty fight that they should be pretty proud of, if I'm honest.
The box for Liverpool here is overhit, and we'll go behind for a goal kick. You just wonder when Jurgen Klopp is maybe going to start looking to his bench. I know it's the first game of the season, but they actually travel away to Istanbul off the back of this game for that European Super Cup clash against Chelsea. They've got a fly out to Turkey, and you'd imagine at 4-1 up, it was 4-0, he should be looking to his bench. We talk about game management, and it seems a little bit naive from Jurgen Klopp here with almost 70 minutes gone. The only change he's made has been enforced when we're still early stages of the season. You've got to try and manage these players.
Yeah, I mean, we've touched upon a number of things already about the fixture pile that we're going to have when the European games come round. They've got the Super Cup, and yeah, perhaps now they'll start to make a bit more of a difference. Tribal's gone down with cramp, 6 or 7 minutes of the first Premier League game. I think it's a bit early. He has been running around a lot more than he probably ever has done in the game, though. Playing against these players.
Yeah.
So that's not exactly going to come as a surprise, is it? But yeah, they're going to make the change. I just wonder who will take off. Salah's not done much in the second half. Firmino.
Yeah.
Will he give these players a rest? I mean, he's just feeling the ankle. Salah being kicked, but yeah, I just there's no real need, is there, to be tiring them out so early doors. But he might want a response. He might be saying, listen, you've been pretty poor in the second half, go do something else for me. Yeah,
they have got Shaqiri, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Matip, Keita and Mane on the bench. Of course, they've already made one change, Adrian on for Alisson. I think we're going to see Onel Hernandez come on here for Norwich in a moment. Could be a straight swap if Tribal is really struggling. He might go into that midfield to take his position. Hernandez, another that was involved quite often last season in the Championship as well, the Cuban. He joined Norwich back in 2017-18 and made 40 appearances last term, 34 starts, so again was involved in almost every single game. Here we see Liverpool out on the left hand side in towards Origi. 68.5 minutes gone. Origi just turning away from a challenge, stumbles on the ball, goes out into touch for a throw-in. I think we are going to get that change now, so we'll see this through and work out what the substitutions are going to be, and then I'll let Tom take you through towards the full-time whistle. Of course, new rules meaning now that players need to leave the pitch at the closest exit point. I think with it being a central midfielder, he's just going to come across to where he normally would anyway.
I'll be honest, I thought it was far enough over to just walk on that side. The new man coming on has just said that, Onel Hernandez, to him. Why can't he just go over on the far side?
He's desperate to get on. Hernandez, an experienced Premier League football for the first time. We are over the midway point of this second half, and Norwich have made a couple of changes. One of them, Leitner, who came on just before they scored a goal in this match, has had a huge impact. He was close to scoring himself just before Pukki hit the back of the net. He hit the crossbar and has certainly raised the tempo of Norwich's play. We've just seen a second change. Tom Tribal has gone off. He was down with cramp a few moments ago, so Daniel Farke has decided to bring him off, and on in his place is Onel Hernandez, the Cuban. The surprise for me is that Liverpool haven't made a change out of choice yet. Alisson went off injured in the first half, but with a European Super Cup game to come soon and plenty of games in this first month. You would have thought with the game decided that Klopp would have looked to rest some of his key players, but not the case at the moment.
Yeah, shot comes in from Firmino, it's deflected wide, and Salah tried to go for that. As Bobby said, I'll take over the rest of the commentary now, but Fabinho into Salah to Firmino, and his shot come in, but it hit Godfrey and it hit Hanley as well, and fizzed out for a corner. Alexander-Arnold into the box, a leaping header clear by Godfrey, only as far as Robertson, who's going to fire it straight back, headed back clear by Hanley. Robertson's going to go towards halfway, and he tells Gomez to just give him an angle, and Liverpool will regroup in the middle of the park with Henderson back to Robertson, who will go towards Adrian. But yeah, these players will probably be getting used to what Adrian does in games. He's of course telling Robertson he wants to go with a 1-2, then he's going to play it out towards the far right hand side, and it's to nobody. He's a bit sharp with his play out of goal. There's Firmino with Wijnaldum across then to Firmino again. He's going to try and glide inside. He looks sideways, he looks left, he looks right, and here is Robertson. Back to Wijnaldum, there's Fabinho. Fabinho goes over the top looking for Salah, headed up in the air by Lewis. Henderson's going to drop onto the pass, he loops to the far post for Origi. Aaron sweeps it clear, potential for another own goal, and Bobby's got a thing for own goals this weekend. He was telling me about Wolves and Leicester, been an own goal in the last 2 matches. Yeah,
in each of the last 2 games there's been an own goal.
Maybe own goals are just following Bobby around now, with Hanley, nearly Aaron's. Could be a thing with 10 Bobby does a game, we'll have to have a look at that. We get the ball, Salah ready to try and take the cross. It's towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Godfrey beats Van Dijk to it. He's now on 3 really good headers in a row, Godfrey. There is Gomez, drills it across the floor to Salah, who's going to try and take his man Leitner on. He can't bring him down. He's on a card over the top from Salah looking for Fabinho, headed away by Hanley. And as far as Robertson, Leitner gets a touch to it, but it's a 1-2 with Robertson and Wijnaldum. Cross comes in, and Aarons gets a deflection. It's gone out for a throw-in on the far side. Robertson's ready to calm down. Fabinho will get back in his normal position in deep in midfield. Henderson's on the edge of the box waiting for possession, as is Alexander-Arnold. Now everyone's been told to calm down, the movement's a little bit static. Here is Henderson in possession. Goes to Robertson, who goes quickly to Wijnaldum. And he's going to try and play it to Origi. Touch from Wijnaldum. Aarons cushions it away for a throw-in. Still 4-1, listening to off-tube studio commentary. As Robertson fizzes it into Firmino, a little cushion header. Salah's going to come across. Godfrey again gets to the ball. He's had a big 5 minutes behind Godfrey. Here is Alexander-Arnold. He's going to strike towards goal, and he gets his foot straight through it. But he also smashes it into the stands behind the top of the Kop. And they are going to get the change Bobby's asked for, and it is Sadio Mane that's going to come on. So a bit of pace. What a change he can make. One of the other Golden Boot joint winners from last year, to replace Divock Origi, who's had a cracking game.
Yeah, he'll get a good reception from those Liverpool fans. Divock Origi, most of them on their feet, having enjoyed his exploits back end of last season. He's done well to make it a positive start today, getting a goal, getting an assist. Probably could have had another goal as well had Firmino allowed him to snaffle up that chance earlier on, but the Brazilian wanted to take it for himself. And Sadio Mane on, he'll be looking to get off the mark. He's seen Salah do it tonight. He's seen Origi do it as well. He wants to make sure that he's in that forward line as often as possible this season. The Senegalese was fantastic last term, wasn't he? Such an energetic and bright player.
Certainly was. And now the ball's back into Leitner. We'll try and fire the ball forward. There is a little touch from Hernandez looking for Pukki. He's going to struggle to keep it in. He does keep it in, but then it trickles out of play on the far side. And now it's back. And there's Mane missing out in possession, so now Wijnaldum goes across to go and get it. Wijnaldum's perhaps caught a little knock, as now Liverpool take the free kick quickly. Mane's in behind, he's running in towards goal. Mane powering into the box, he goes across towards Firmino, cleared away by Godfrey again, who's having a storming game in the second half. But Mane straight on the attack there, Bobby.
Yeah, he's eager to get involved, isn't he? As soon as that free kick was awarded, Mane was on his back, the fullbacks had gone asleep. And that's another thing Norwich are going to have to learn. The pace of the game is much greater in the Premier League, and against the likes of Liverpool and City, the top teams. You can never afford to just take your mind off it for a moment. You always have to be focused because there's players that are ready to hurt you.
Here is Van Dijk in possession. Heavy touch is needed as he gets away from his man marking, which was Buendia. Alexander-Arnold then goes and gets possession and goes it with the outside of his boot across the far side to Robertson, going to charge down this left hand side. Robertson in towards Mane, and he goes back to Robertson. He's got Firmino centrally. Robertson down the line to Mane once more, to Firmino. Firmino then goes past his man Leitner, in behind to Mane again. He's got Henderson, he's got Salah in the box as well. Can he pick out either of them? Henderson into the area, it's blocked and out for a corner.
Yeah, great work again. Always on his back, looking to get in that gap behind the defenders, and he's so quick, isn't he? Electric, especially at this stage of a game when players are tiring. He's certainly having the impact that Jurgen Klopp would have wanted. A 15-minute run out. It's almost like an additional bit of pre-season this really for Sadio Mane, coming on with the game poised as it is, not being asked too many questions.
Yeah, Salah's got both arms off, ready to go. Who can he pick out this time? He picked out Van Dijk earlier towards Mane, headed away by, I think it's Godfrey again. Robertson back out to Salah. Salah's going to try and cut across as he try and fizz the ball in. Headed away by Leitner. Salah's going to keep fighting with him. Aaron sells him a dummy and then goes to Buendia, who needs to get rid of this. Runs into Robertson. It's soft for Buendia. Here is Salah bursting in towards goal. He's going to try and flick it into Firmino. It's a soft touch. It's going to fall in midfield to Norwich though, as here comes Cantwell, and Bobby's waving his arms around at the side to me. Bobby, tell me what you're moaning at.
I just felt Mane was in a good position to the right of Salah, just a little side rule ball rather than that one forward to Firmino. Gave Mane a good angle to maybe get a first time shot away right-footed across goal, but Salah looked for a little bit more of a difficult pass.
Yeah, Hernandez looks a little bit sluggish out there, just giving the ball away twice in quick succession. And now Liverpool have it back on the far left. 77 minutes gone. Mane's again charging on the left from Henderson, who tries to pick him out but can't with the pass. So Henderson goes again to Wijnaldum. Henderson apologises that he got it wrong. Just tells you the quality of the game he expects of himself, but he tried to play a midfield splitting pass and then apologise when it doesn't go right, and it's not the end of the world.
No, especially at this stage of a game with the scoreline as it is. You don't have to be a harsh critic on yourself early stage of the season as well. You're still finding your feet a little bit. Mistakes can be slightly excused at this point, a couple of games in, and you become a bit more critical.
Yeah, here is Buendia again. Lovely footwork to find Pukki, but it hits the back of the ankle of Pukki. And the ball's gone flying forward. Henderson cushions it out to Robertson. A round of applause, and Henderson had a really good game tonight, to be honest. He's been up there for man of the match candidate. I think Alexander-Arnold will be in there as well. Salah, of course, has got a goal and an assist, so you feel he'll be probably the leading candidate. As Fabinho goes down from a tackle from Cantwell. Referee says nothing in it, as here comes Pukki. Pukki's going to spin and turn as he tries to go down the right hand side, and it's deflected. Van Dijk scoops the ball up. It's only as far as Aarons, who gets a touch to it and then beats Mane. Good work from Aarons, as now he tries to get the ball back from Leitner, who goes with this first time pass because Hernandez is on his own. They've lost him at the far post of Liverpool. Hernandez onto his right foot, takes a short, but it's straight on the throat of Adrian. Well, if he's been a little bit sharper, I think Hernandez, he could have scored. First
touch had to be better, didn't it? He was in acres of space when that initial delivery came. Was he offside though? The flag stayed down. Maybe, yeah, it's very tight, isn't it? We're looking, there is a line mowed into the lawn, so I think he was, but it's that first touch that takes him back away from goal. No, the flag did go up actually. I thought he was just on, it was close.
Long.
Pitch.
I mean, I know you've got some money, Bob, but that's a big old grass verge you've got, if that's your lawn.
I'll have to invite you round.
I've not been in it since last time I came to your house. As Salah's going to take a free kick on Mane and defensively try to hold out here. He's trying to take the defensive duties, but they've thrown the ball away and now getting a defensive lineup. So Norwich have got a free kick, which in the lineup. Buendia is apparently their main man this season in these attacking situations. And he has that number 17 shirt on his back. He's got his right arm off, but will he try and outfox Adrian? He's going to go for goal, but it's straight down the throat of the keeper. And Van Dijk's got his arm aloft at something. Whether it's an organisational thing, Adrian's now telling everyone where to go. I like the Liverpool goalkeeper's kit, by the way. Pretty classy, the all black.
It's alright, isn't it, with the gold trim? I think Buendia's one to keep an eye on for those free kicks over the season, isn't he? He's put a few good deliveries in, but clearly showing there he's prepared to try and catch a keeper out as well.
Great work from Mane to beat his man. Now he tries to go past on Aarons down the right hand side, and it's going to be a really good battle that for the rest of this game. Aarons gets him to the floor, then pulls him to his feet, and if Norwich go down this year, if Aarons can perform on a little bit of a level playing field like this, then I think a Premier League move will be beckoning. I thought one would have beckoned anyway, but he stayed loyal to the Canaries. They were the team that got him up, so they're the team that he's going to stand by.
I think that's always the best thing, isn't it? Stay with the club if you've come up with them, get that Premier League experience if you are good enough. The move will be there in a year's time anyway, maybe even in January, but I know he was linked with Palace when Wan-Bissaka went to United. They felt he would be a good replacement.
This time an in-swinging corner from Alexander Arnold. He's not got it right though so far tonight. It's another scuffed effort. Robertson goes back to him with the rebound. He's going to try and dummy his way past them. He beats Leitner twice, then he floats it in. It's going to be headed away by Norwich. Salah's going to pick up the pieces on the far side. He holds off one, a back heel to try and find Fabinho, but it's hooked clear towards halfway. Henderson's got some work because Cantwell's charging up behind him, and there is Henderson back to Adrian. 4-1, 10 minutes to go. We're going to get another goal?
I think so. I think Liverpool have got another one in them, you know.
I think Mane's looking a lot sharper than I thought he would be.
Yeah, down to the fact of Mane's introduction. I don't know if he'll get the goal, but I think he'll have some sort of role in it, either assisting or helping someone on into a good position to assist. He's just looked so bright, and he seems as though he wants to have a say on this game.
So what he does is Adrian's going to wave his team downfield. He goes sideways into Wijnaldum. I think they thought maybe Keita might get a start tonight. That could be a battle for the season, those two swapping places. Fabinho had to wait an absolute age till he was Premier League ready according to Klopp. Now here's Henderson driving forward. He's going to pick the pass out to Robertson. Robertson's going to get there, but he has forced him very wide as Henderson, and it goes straight out of play. And I think the longer the pass went on, it was a little bit poor. He's going to be behind for a goal kick.
Well, we're into the final 10 minutes of this opening Premier League game of the season. Liverpool still very much in control and heading towards all 3 points in this clash, 4-1 up. Norwich have still had a couple of chances. They had a further one with substitute Onel Hernandez played in. He messed it up in the end, but and eventually turned around to see the flag had been raised, maybe a little bit harshly against him. It was very tight. We've seen a free kick from Emi Buendia as well. Tried to catch Adrian, the goalkeeper, by surprise, but it was well saved by the Spaniard. And a final sub for Norwich. Timu Puki's got a goal tonight, has gone off, and summer signing Josip Drmic has come on in his place.
Norwich is getting ready to try and impress. And of course, a player that came for a free. He's got some experience of playing around Europe, so it could be a shrewd signing. I've seen many say one of the signings of the window, as here comes Firmino into the box. He goes down on the edge of the area, and the referee's going to give a free kick, which is the fair call. Grant Hanley pulling him to the floor. And I think Grant Hanley had a bit of a pull on his shirt first, but he's just not having a good night.
The captain's armband on as well, hasn't he, Hanley? And what a special occasion it is to captain your side at Anfield against Liverpool, but obviously it hasn't gone all according to plan for him. I mentioned Godfrey a few times. He's probably been the better of the two in defence, and this is a great chance for Liverpool. A couple of candidates having a look at the set piece. Salah and Alexander-Arnold appear to be the favourites. Henderson is just sort of lurking off their shoulders a little bit to see if he might get himself a chance. So yeah, they've got a few specialists from the dead ball.
Yeah, it's a case of pick 'em, isn't it? 3 men in front of the attacking wall.
Got to be a metre away now, haven't they, the attacking players? So this is something Liverpool have obviously worked on. Leitner, of course, is going to have an argument here because he'll have an argument with anyone. But this is all within the rules now. That they've made a false wall in front of the Norwich wall.
Well, the issue is Leitner's now not 10.
Yeah.
And that's what Michael Oliver's telling them. There's the line. You've all got to be behind. Well, that's not a straight line, Michael.
They've all stepped forward. He's put it further forward than it initially was. So they have stolen a few yards here.
What's the point? That's not great officiating. Henderson, Salah, Alexander-Arnold. Who's going to take it? I've got a feeling Salah might try and curl this, but it is Alexander-Arnold that's going to hit it right-footed. Oh, good save from Krull. Whipped towards goal by Alexander-Arnold, and it stays at 4-1.
Yeah, I'd like to see the reverse angle of this one, see what sort of an effect that three-man wall had. Here we go. They're completely blocking that side of the goal, so makes it an even better save from Tim Krul. Unsighted right to the very last minute when those three Liverpool players all parted ways. Saved from the top corner. And we're going to see another change from Liverpool, third and final one.
Yeah, James Milner, the man that's been impressing in pre-season, winning all the bleep tests and in fine shape.
True pro, isn't he?
Liverpool putting those videos out of James Milner being the Colossus player that he is, and he comes onto the field of play for Roberto Firmino. So a defensive change to get what Bobby's been predicting as a player that's get fresh players. I think we might have had somebody on the pitch there, because I just saw men in high vises
sprinting but behind James Milner.
They're not allowed to be on the pitch normally unless there's an incident, so something's always happening in back play. That's why we're getting the TV pictures staying at Milner. 517th career Premier League appearance. It's the 6th most in Premier League history. What a career. Yeah,
looks after himself well, doesn't he? And reaping the rewards of that now, playing for a side still at the highest level. He's had a fantastic career. I think
it did help that he made his debut at 16.
It did, yeah. But I think many people felt when he left City that he might struggle to find another club that were going to offer him top-level football. He went to Liverpool. They've since improved greatly, and he's a crucial figure for them.
Yeah, so Liverpool now penning Norwich in their own box. Tim Krul tells Hanley and Godfrey, get up. Let's take this goal kick long. I'm waiting for the first calamity at these.
Well, you know what? It's going to be a good time-wasting tactic. Say Norwich with a side leading there. You have the defenders in. You say, actually, no, I've changed my mind, get out. You let them get out and then you take it. It's another opportunity to waste a bit of time.
Yeah, it certainly is. Certainly a good idea, that, Bobby. As the ball's played back, Liverpool will get a goal kick. Through the fans leaving, get beat the early traffic this Friday night. The first Premier League game of the season. And await the blockbuster day that is tomorrow, the first Saturday of the new Premier League campaign, as Fabinho turns his man. Dermot is trying to put the pressure on. Henderson takes it off Salah, and then goes a long raking pass looking towards Mane. Aarons heads it clear. Milner barges into Buendia. And Aarons is going to clear this ball downfield into the feet of a teammate. Buendia towards Dermot. Was too slow. And they go again, then Buendia, and it's out to the far left. That's with Lewis. Now to Hernandez. Hernandez into a good area. Can he play the ball back across the far left-hand side? He's going to try and cut it into Lewis again. Lewis is going to run at the midfielders. Now a cross comes in, and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, good work again from Norwich, and again it is one of the passages of play that I think Daniel Farke will take confidence from. They've moved the ball really well at times in this match to put Liverpool on the back foot, and they have the set piece as a reward.
Yeah, here is Leitner from Buendia. Buendia tries to go sideways, a little over the top pass into Hernandez, who's offside again, and Buendia just slapped his arms against his hips to just say, come on, because he's been offside far too much.
Yeah, that's at least the second time, isn't it? And he only came off the bench not so long ago. It's actually made history tonight as well, the first Cuban player ever to appear in the Premier League, so that's a milestone for him to at least be proud of, the first of his country to step out in the top flight of English football, but yeah, he's not really had the impact he would have wanted to.
Yeah, it's looped out towards the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold tries to get to the ball but can't. Here is Henderson, puts his foot through it, and it's going to come out towards Krul, who just collects it and rolls it out to the far right-hand side, and that's going to allow Aarons to just plod on towards the touchline. He goes back now, and Norwich trying to keep a bit of possession. With a risky back pass, Krul has to go on his bike and come out early. And it's Robertson now to Milner. Milner's going to try an attacking run now as he goes forward. It's into Mane. Mane's going to go in towards Wijnaldum. Mane back to Henderson. Henderson is going to try and pull the strings. Forces Salah out wide. Salah tries to flick it into the middle, but it's cleared away by Lewis. Leitner tries to win a free kick, and he's done very well to do so, because there wasn't a single bit of touch on those shoulders.
Yeah, he's gone down very easily, hasn't he? Salah, with a smile on his face, turns away, accepting the decision reluctantly. Norwich got on with it short.
Yeah, ball down the left-hand side, and they're going to clear it. Lewis is going to try and pick up the ball. Now back into the path of Krul. He's back out far touchline. Mane in towards Fabinho. Fabinho pulls the strings and goes as far left as Milner to Wijnaldum. It's a shocking first touch, and he gives away a free kick. And it's now going to be stoppage time, just the 2 minutes, which I think is pretty spot on.
Yeah, it's fair enough, isn't it? We've had
Keeping you up, Bobby.
we've had 5 subs, haven't we, in the game so far? It's been a long day, and I think 2 minutes probably just been a bit kind on Norwich as well, actually.
Yeah, here's Buendia, tries to get into the box. Alexander Arnold's going to get there, and Buendia's got his head in his hands in frustration because he knows he's a half a yard away from letting fly, and I'm very impressed with Buendia. He's turned out in frustration, but he certainly showed he can compete at this level. No one goes to Marcos Hernandez, even though they probably think he's offside. He can't be offside from a throw-in, but Liverpool that probably expecting that he is. As here comes Godfrey with the shots. Adrian spilled it. Hernandez now to strike. Goes across the face of goal. Gomez blocks. Still not fully clear. Across from Hernandez. Buendia brings it under control. Tries to roll it in. Great feet. Cantwell, though, can't get to the cutback. And now Liverpool have one last throw of the dice. A minute left if they want to go downfield. But Norwich are getting back in numbers. Mane turns away as Dermich flies in. Here's Milner to Fabinho. Now to Henderson. It'd be a great way to end the game. Mane steaming forward. He's ignored for the time being. Henderson goes cross-field with the ball to Robertson. Now can Robertson pick out another pass to the far post? It's going to go all the way over, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, just too much on it in the end there. A little bit over-ambitious from the Scotland captain. Nice ball from Henderson, though, wasn't it, to open the play up? I'd have even been able to go himself, Robertson, the amount of time he initially had there, but elected to cross instead.
Yeah, there is James Milner trying to orchestrate one final attack. Krull in possession. 10-15 seconds left for the first Premier League game. This 2019-20 season is left. And Liverpool 4-1 victors. I've not seen the man of the match thing come up for TV Pictures host man of the match. Nothing given. And that is the end of the match. Jurgen Klopp's men start with a victory. They're disappointed to concede, but Norwich learn a vital lesson at the top flight. After 4 goals down in the first half, they've managed to get it. Just a 4-1 defeat at Anfield. Once again, thank you for joining myself, Tom Hill, and Bobby Jackson, and join us again tomorrow for a whole...
Right, full time it finished 4-1 to Norwich, so no goals to Liverpool in the second half, but Norwich scoring a goal. The stats at the end, 58% possession for Liverpool, 42% for Norwich, 15 shots for Liverpool, 10 for Norwich, 7 shots on target for Liverpool, 4 for Norwich, 11 corners for Liverpool, 2 for Norwich. So, looked like Liverpool were the better team, but Norwich didn't actually play that bad in the end. But Alisson obviously getting an injury, we'll see what happens with that, but it looks like Adrian may have to play against Chelsea in the Super Cup. Milner coming on for Firmino, Mane coming on for Origi, and Hernandez coming on for Tribal, Leitner coming on for Stiepermann, and then Dermich coming on for Pukki. The goals in the end were by Hanley, who scored an own goal, Salah, Van Dijk, Origi, and then Pukki scoring a goal. So that is probably going to end this stream. If you are new to the channel, if you could subscribe, that would be great. We're 1 subscriber off 1,360. So if we could get that, that would be great, because, well, we are going to be doing loads of live commentaries in the future for Liverpool and Norwich games. So if you are a Liverpool and Norwich fan and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. See if we can hit that. I'm going to end the stream at exactly 10 o'clock. So if we could get to that margin of subscribers by then, that would be good. What is this? Hell? What? Okay, I have no idea what's going on with that, but my sub count's just broken, so I may have to end the stream now. Don't know what's going on with that. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another stream at 12 o'clock tomorrow.